Chapter 207. When Su Yun saw that Wang Zhe was about to escape, he grabbed his left shoulder again and pulled Wang Zhe down. His left fist smashed into Wang Zhe's face like a thunderbolt. Wang Zhe clenched his fists into palms and blocked Su Yun's fist at the critical moment. But he had no chance to escape. "What is your purpose?" Su Yun saw that Wang Zhe had no intention of hurting people, so he didn't try to kill him. This gave Wang Zhe a chance to catch his breath. Otherwise, if he followed up with another palm, it would be difficult for the other party to have any room to resist. Wang Zhe was now very clear about the difference in strength between himself and Su Yun. The other party could easily force him into a desperate situation. Obviously, he was a level higher than him. "I really don't mean any harm. If you don't believe me, there's nothing I can do." "Who sent you?" Through Wang Zhe's words, it was not difficult for Su Yun to determine that he had been arranged by someone. What he was interested in now was who could easily mobilize a first-rate expert and make him so tight-lipped. "If you don't want to die, don't test my patience." Wang Zhe didn't hesitate because of Su Yun's threat. He shook his head and said, "If my mouth was so loose, I wouldn't be worthy of living in the underground world." "Okay, then I'll satisfy you." Su Yun's expression changed greatly. His murderous intent rose. He absolutely wouldn't allow anyone to affect him at this juncture. Even if they didn't mean any harm, he didn't have much energy to think about these things. Seeing that Su Yun really wanted to kill him, Wang Zhe was a little unwilling. Before Su Yun could make a move, he said again, "I just want to tell you that the person who arranged for me to track you down is someone who wants to help you." Logically speaking, Su Yun shouldn't give him a chance to continue, but he was really curious. He was curious about who wanted to help him and secretly arranged for someone to investigate him. "The person who ordered me to come here definitely won't drag you down. He definitely doesn't have any intention of harming you." Wang Zhe saw Su Yun's hesitation and continued, "It's just that the person who ordered me to come here doesn't want you to know that someone is helping you behind your back. That's why I did everything in secret. While you were away from Jibei City, I stayed behind to protect the Tang family. The great Yanlong has been through so much. Did he really think that no one would take the opportunity to attack him after you left? If I hadn't hidden in the Tang family, I'm afraid that the 9th young mistress of the Tang family would have been taken away long ago." Hearing this, Su Yun definitely couldn't continue. Wang Zhe's words made sense. During the time he was away, Tang Jiu's second uncle and third uncle, the two people who didn't want Tang Jiu to carry the Tang family, would definitely find an opportunity to make a move on Tang Jiu. However, Tang Jiu was safe and sound these few days. This was a bit unbelievable. Originally, Su Yun thought that Ghost-Faced and Ghost-Faced brothers would be guarding the Tang family. But now, it seemed that Ghost-Faced Azura had been seriously injured by him and was in the hospital. Ghost-Faced Azura would definitely prioritize taking care of his younger brother. There was no way he would be distracted by the Tang family's matters. If Wang Zhe hadn't been protecting the Tang family during the few days he was in Hudong City, Tang Jiu might really have been in trouble. Whether you believe me or not, I've already said what I need to say. If you insist on making a move, I won't complain." Wang Zhe raised his head and closed his eyes. It was as if he was prepared to be killed by Su Yun at any time. Su Yun retracted his murderous aura. He wasn't the kind of person who couldn't distinguish between right and wrong. If Wang Zhe really protected Tang Jiu, he should be thanking him. Why would he make a move on him? However, who was it that wanted to help him? Su Yun was really curious. "I won't kill you," Su Yun said calmly. "I want to know who thought so highly of me, Su Yun, that they would send you here to help me look after the Tang family. I just want to thank this person. I don't have any other intentions. But if you don't want to tell me, I won't force you. I just want you to pass on a message for me. Just say that I, Yanlong, will remember this matter. If there's a chance, I'll repay you." Wang Zhe was slightly startled. He almost blurted out that name, but when he remembered that she had repeatedly told him not to expose her whereabouts, he swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. "Yanlong, this is the person's repayment for your previous kindness. Don't take it to heart. If there's a chance, I think we'll meet again." Su Yun didn't stop Wang Zhe from leaving. He looked at the disappearing figure of the Rakshasa and fell into deep thought for a long time. Who did he owe a favor to? Although he did owe a favor, in the end, it was just something he did casually as part of his mission. How could anyone take it to heart? Moreover, how could a person whom he was indebted to have the strength to invite Wang Zhe, a top-notch expert? One must know that he had just broken through to become a super expert not long ago. In the past few years, his strength was probably not much higher than Wang Zhe. Who could it be? Su Yun racked his brains, but he still couldn't figure out who had the ability to help him. Forget it, he didn't want to think about it anymore. He'd better go back as soon as possible. If something went wrong in the 10 minutes he was away from the Tang family, it would be too late for him to regret. Wang Zhe was caught red-handed by Su Yun. He had never expected this. When he saw Su Yun appear in the Tang family's house, he made sure that there was no sound in his room before he dared to leave. He didn't expect that Su Yun had just taken a shower. This was really bad luck, wasn't it? Since the last time she found Su Yun's whereabouts, Zhou Meiyan had been restless every day. In the end, Su Yun directly left Jibei and went to Hudong. From that day on, Zhou Meiyan arranged for him to stay in the Tang family's house and insisted that he wait for Su Yun to come back. However, for 2 consecutive nights, unidentified people came to visit. They were all second-rate masters. Wang Zhe easily dealt with them and had Zui Yeming bring them back for interrogation. Only then did he find out that such a big thing had happened in the Tang family. Zhou Meiyan knew Su Yun very well. She was sure that if the Tang family's problem was not solved, Su Yun would definitely come back to help Tang Jiu. This was not because she thought that Tang Jiu was very charming, but because she was sure that Su Yun, who was a good person, would be a good person until the end. Since Su Yun wanted to help the Tang family, Zhou Meiyan naturally had no reason to help him when Su Yun was not around. Therefore, she directly let Wang Zhe stay in the Tang family's house. First, he could secretly help protect Tang Jiu when Su Yun was not around. Second, he could know in time when Su Yun came back. Who would have thought that this idiot Wang Zhe would be discovered by Su Yun, and even caught in the act? Zhou Meiyan was quite speechless. She wanted to give him a few kicks. What else can you do? You can't even handle such a small matter. Fortunately, you didn't say that you were my man. Otherwise, I would have lost all my face. Sister Meiyan. How could I have known that I would be so unlucky? Moreover, Su Yun is too strong. You know how fast I am. He caught up with me. I couldn't escape at all. Wang Zhe said gloomily. Zhou Meiyan emphasized again. Call me queen. That's enough, sister. Don't be intoxicated by your queen. My brother-in-law is now alone in a villa with a young lady. Aren't you worried? Zui Yeming laughed. Sister, you have to know that young ladies nowadays are very good at seducing men. I'm a little worried that my brother-in-law won't be able to control himself. Zhou Meiyan glared fiercely at her unreliable brother. Little bastard, if you dare to provoke me again, I promise that I'll beat you up until you can't even recognize your own sister. What do young ladies know? Do they have the charm of your sister? He can even reject me. I don't believe that a young lady can seduce him. Zui Yeming sighed. Time is unforgiving. Sister, you're already 30 years old. You're already old. You can't compare yourself to a young lady. Bullshit. I don't feel old at all. Moreover, I was only 27 years old when I met him. I was in the prime of my youth. What do you know? Zhou Meiyan really doubted whether her brother was her biological brother. She wanted to beat him up as soon as he opened his mouth. Zui Yeming quickly shut his mouth and raised his hands in surrender. If he really angered his sister, he wouldn't be able to handle it. Wang Zhe, you promised that you didn't tell anyone about me, right? Zhou Meiyan confirmed again. I swear I definitely didn't mention a single word about you to him. Wang Zhe said. He heard that I helped him solve some problems with the Tang family, so he let me go. He even said that he would definitely thank you in the future. Thank me? Zhou Meiyan glared at him. Why would he thank me if you didn't mention anything about me? Wang Zhe hurriedly explained. I told him that he was indebted to the person who ordered me to come here. That's why he knew that there was someone else. I swear, I definitely didn't mention a single word about your name, Sister Meiyan. Zhou Meiyan narrowed her eyes and stared at Wang Zhe. If you're not going to say anything, then why are you still talking so much nonsense? What if he thinks that someone else helped him? What if he doesn't remember me? Wouldn't I be helping someone else? Are you an idiot? Wang Zhe didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But if I don't say that, then he really will kill me. Sister Mayan, are you going to watch him kill me? Is he so capable that he can kill you with a single slap? Zui Yiming teased. I don't believe that. Brother, you don't know this, but I thought that I could escape from him. But when I really fought him, I realized that I was no match for him. Wang Zhe laughed bitterly. He's definitely a super expert that surpasses you and me. I even suspect that he's stronger than Sister Mayan. Zui Yiming raised an eyebrow. Impossible. My sister is the inheritor of Master's lifetime of cultivation. That's how she became a super expert. How could he? How is it impossible? Zui Mayan glared at her brother. 3 years ago, you were just a beginner, and he was already a top expert. You and I may have inherited Master's cultivation and soared to this unreachable realm, but it's not like he didn't have any cultivation, okay? Zui Yiming, you have to understand that there's always someone better than you. Don't think that you're invincible just because you reached this level in 3 years by relying on shortcuts. Alright, Auntie, stop nagging. I was wrong. You're going through menopause. Zui Yiming's face darkened. Chapter 208. Jibei City, the capital of Jiangbei Province, was a big city that had been full of disputes since ancient times. Countless scholars, poets, and historical hegemons had once dominated the area and left their names in history. Therefore, the development of Jibei City had always been at the forefront of Huaxia. Although it was not as big as first-tier metropolises such as Yanjing, Shenyang, Jiangsu, and Hangzhou, it was not far behind in terms of tall buildings. Su Yan drove slowly to the front of this magnificent building. Today was the first time he saw the Tang Group's building. In the city that was originally filled with skyscrapers, the Tang Group's building was like a crane in a flock of chickens. At the top of the skyscraper, the LED light box with the words Tang Group had been turned on just before sunset, emitting a dazzling light. Su Yan had seen tall buildings with dozens of floors before. However, when he thought about how Tang Jiu's family owned it, he could not help but feel that it was a bit exaggerated. Moreover, the entire building, from the purchase of the land to the completion of the construction, had been paid for by the Tang Group. From the designers to the construction team, everything had been done by the Tang Group's people. It was obvious that the Tang Group was very powerful in Jibei City. It was so powerful that many people could only look up to it. At this moment, the Tang Group's building was decorated with lanterns and streamers. The red carpet was dazzling, and there were dragon and lion dances. Many media reporters were even scrambling to get a good shot. All of this was done by Tang Yifei. He wanted to make this a big deal and let everyone know about it. This way, people would know that a girl did not have the ability to take on such a heavy responsibility, and that he was the backbone of the Tang Group. The red carpet was laid out all the way to the front of the car. After Su Yan stopped the car, he opened the door for Tang Jiu. After Tang Jiu got out of the car, there was not even a speck of dust on the soles of her shoes. Seeing that the successor of the Tang Group had finally appeared, the flashes of the cameras were like firecrackers lit in the middle of the night, emitting dazzling light. Su Yan actually did not like this feeling. At this moment, if someone wanted to trick them, they could casually shoot a hidden weapon in the crowd of reporters, and it would be difficult to distinguish them with the naked eye. Therefore, Su Yan followed Tang Jiu carefully, listening for any dangerous sounds around them. Tang Jiu was wearing an exquisite gown and a pair of crystal heels. Her neck and wrists were adorned with limited edition Bulgari jewelry. Clearly, they weren't ordinary custom-made goods. Su Yan also put on the Armani suit that Tang Jiu had specially bought for him during the day. The handmade leather shoes on his feet were really comfortable. Su Yan sighed that they were definitely 100 times more comfortable than flip-flops. Not to mention the value of their clothes. Just the price of the pair of socks on Su Yan's feet was enough for him to buy street stalls all year round. Although dozens of reporters were blocked by the security guards, there were still people who tried their best to raise their microphones and ask Tang Jiu loudly, "Miss Tang, what are your thoughts on inheriting the Tang Group?" "Miss Tang, I heard that you inherited the Tang Group this time, because you found your other half who can help you fight for the world. May I ask who he is and what his name is? Miss Tang. Is the man beside you right now the one who can help you in the Tang group? Sir, may I know your name? Are you Miss Tang's other half? Faced with so many questions, Su-Yun was really disgusted. This was a family matter. What did it have to do with them? It wasn't like a celebrity wanted to create hype. Even if no one asked, they would hire a few people to ask. Tang Jiu didn't say a word to all the questions. She seemed to be used to this kind of situation. Although she was disgusted, she still had a confident smile on her face. Su-Yun didn't say anything when he saw this. He just let Tang Jiu hold his arm and walk in. The first floor of the Tang group was originally a rather grand reception hall. Now, after some last-minute changes, it was transformed into a huge banquet hall. Of course, all of this was arranged by Tang Yifei. It was better to hold this banquet in the Tang family's own place for Tang Jiu to announce her new position. There were already many members of the Tang family present. When they saw Tang Jiu, they stopped what they were doing and looked over. When they saw Su-Yun appear beside Tang Jiu, many of their faces changed slightly, especially Tang Jinfeng and Tang Sangua. They didn't expect Su-Yun to be involved. After the incident a few days ago, Su-Yun went to Hudong City with Tang Jingtian and the others. They knew that this person wasn't Tang Jiu's man. He was just a master who came to help. Now that Su-Yun appeared again, they instantly shattered their original guesses. Dad, today's matter isn't decided by them. Tang Yifei stood behind Tang Jinfeng and sneered. The people who came today are all famous people in Jibei City, and even the entire Jiangbei province. They are all on good terms with us. Tang Jinfeng nodded. Even so, we have to be careful. Anything can happen. We can't let Tang Jiu gain a foothold in this banquet. Once she can intimidate these people, the situation will be quite unfavorable for us. As the two of them spoke, Su-Yun and Tang Jiu walked over. Tang Yifei tried to adjust his mentality and walked forward with a smile. Sister Jiu, you didn't have to come so early. After saying that, he reached out to Su-Yun and gave Su-Yun a special address. Brother-in-law, when did you come to Jibei? Why didn't you tell me? Su-Yun was too lazy to shake hands with this kind of person. How dare he call himself second brother in front of him? Did he really think he was someone important? I came to Jibei because I was afraid that some people would bully Tang Jiu. I'm not here to acknowledge you as my relative. I know what kind of person you are. You don't have to pretend in front of me. Tang Yifei was stifled by Su-Yun's words to the point that his heart ached. This bastard was really going too far. This was the Tang family. It was not a place where any outsider could shout and shout. There were so many people inside and outside who dared to speak to him like this. But this Su-Yun in front of him dared to speak to him like this. Every word was like a sharp knife stabbing into his heart. He did not show any mercy. If someone else dared to do this, Tang Yifei would definitely slap them and let them know who had the final say in the Tang family. But he did not dare to do this to Su-Yun. Even if he had 10 times the courage, he would not dare to do so. Su-Yun, you will be with little Jiu in the future. That means you are part of our Tang family. You don't have to be so harsh to your own family, right? Seeing Tang Yifei suffer, Tang Xiaofeng was naturally in a good mood. He smiled and said as he walked over. Tang Yifei's mouth trembled slightly. He glared fiercely at Tang Xiaofeng. He knew this guy would hit him when he was down and scold him. I'll say the same to you. Don't try to worm your way into being friends with me. Don't think of yourself as a good person. After Su-Yun finished speaking, he left with Tang Jiu. Tang Xiaofeng was left hanging in the air with a face full of anger. Tang Yifei was originally full of anger, but he instantly felt better. Looking at Tang Xiaofeng, who also did not get a good look, he could not help but feel proud. Third brother, second brother, I don't want to criticize you. You want to form an alliance with this little ability of yours? Haha, I think you should work with second brother to make the Tang family bigger and more stable. Do you have that ability? Tang Xiaofeng said coldly. Let me tell you, you better understand that the Tang family now belongs to ninth sister. The successor is ninth sister, not you. Don't sit in the main seat. Be careful not to mistake your identity. You won't even know if you are killed. Tang Yifei did not expect this B** to be so sharp-tongued. He glared at him, snorted heavily, and turned to leave. The venue of the cocktail party had already been prepared. In the next hour, guests arrived one after another. Su-Yin could tell at a glance that there were at least 100 VIPs. Looking at the way these people were dressed and their auras, it was not difficult to tell that they were all people of status in Jibei City. The people who arrived quickly integrated into the atmosphere. Tang Jiu also stood up with a glass of champagne and led Su-Yin to socialize with them. "Ha ha ha, my little niece, I haven't seen you for a few years. You've become so beautiful." A slightly plump man in his early 50s looked at Tang Jiu with admiration. "That little brat of mine has been talking about you for many years. When will you let Uncle arrange for you to meet? Let's not talk about that little brat first. I really want you to be my daughter-in-law." Tang Sangwa happened to be walking over not far away. He laughed and said, "Mr. Qi, if our Tang family can become in-laws with you, it would be a blessing from our previous life. I'm just afraid that your son won't like our little Jiu, ha ha ha." His name is Qi Zhenqiang, and he is definitely one of the big shots in Jibei City. When he was 15 years old, he started mining in the mines. Not only did he rely on his own abilities, but he also had a clever mouth. When the coal mine system was reformed, he single-handedly took over the largest coal mine in Jiangbei Province, Jiangyang Coal Mine. In the next few years, he was definitely the biggest nouveau riche in Jibei City, and even the entire Jiangbei Province. Tang Jiu whispered in Su Yun's ear. "Although the recent 2 years have been a little bad, as the saying goes, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. With Qi Zhenqiang's strong family background, he's still a big shot in Jibei City." Su Yun nodded and thought to himself, "To put it bluntly, he's just a coal boss facing difficulties." "I'm sorry, Uncle Qi. I'm afraid I can't do as you wish." Tang Jiu smiled politely and pulled Su Yun to her side. She introduced, "This is Su Yun, my boyfriend. Although he and I don't have an official relationship yet, I'm afraid you've fallen in love with him and think that you'll marry no one else but him." Su Yun was sweating profusely when he heard that. Who knew if Tang Jiu was lying to deceive Uncle Qi, or if she was really taking the opportunity to say it to him? Regardless of whether it was true or not, Tang Jiu's happy expression made people feel that it was definitely true. Chapter 209. "He's just a chef who cooks medicinal cuisine in Hudong City," Tang Sangwa said with some disdain. His words were harsh and harsh. He had always looked down on Su Yun. Although he knew that Su Yun had some skills, he had never seen Su Yun's skills with his own eyes like Tang Yifei did. Therefore, his fear of Su Yun was superficial and not from the bottom of his heart. Qi Zhenqiang frowned when he heard this, and his expression changed. The smile he had on Su Yun disappeared in an instant, and he said to Tang Jiuliang with a serious face, "Little niece, you have to be careful when you have a boyfriend. I don't want people with ulterior motives to get close to you. Maybe some people don't get close to you for you, but for the Tang family's business." He was obviously questioning Su Yun on the spot. Tang Jiuliang's face darkened. She didn't want Su Yun to feel uncomfortable after hearing these words. Su Yun wasn't the kind of person who would be defeated by a few words. He wasn't a kind man. It wasn't Su Yun's style to not fight back when someone provoked him so directly. "Mr. Qi," Su Yun smiled. "I'm not as despicable as you think. If you didn't think that way, you wouldn't have said that to me, right? I heard that the business of the coal mines in Huaxia has been under pressure recently. Haha, it seems that you've been affected as well, right? Is it because you can't pay off your bank loans, so you want to be related to the Tang family and ask for help?" In Qi Zhenqiang's life, only people before the age of 25 had dared to talk to him like this. In the past 30 years, no one had dared to touch his scar so directly. The young man in front of him not only made him angry, but also shocked. "I'm afraid it's not appropriate for a young man to speak like this." Tang Sangwa glared. "Mr. Qi is here to give face to the Tang family. What kind of hospitality is this?" Su Yun was already unhappy when Tang Sangwa called him a chef from Hudong. His tone was too contemptuous. "Tang Sangwa, you're a member of the Tang family, but I'm not. Stop yelling in front of me. Let me tell you, not to mention that I haven't married Tang Jiu yet. Even if I did, it would be Tang Jiu who would be the daughter-in-law of my Su family, not the other way around. Understand?" Tang Sangwa was rendered speechless by Su Yun's words. When Qi Zhenqiang saw how domineering this kid was, he couldn't help but frown. If it was just a little chef, he didn't believe that he would dare to speak to Tang Sangua like this. Uncle Qi, third uncle, I'll go over there and take a look. Tang Jiu saw that the two of them were embarrassed and hurriedly pulled himself out. Su Yin also ignored the two of them, and directly followed Tang Jiu. Tang Jiu had only walked 3 to 5 meters away when he whispered to Su Yin. Why are you so direct with your words? You really don't give him any face. They never thought of giving me face, so why should I give them face? Su Yin chuckled. These people have been spoiled rotten. They always think that the whole world is their mother. They think that just because they have a little bit of money and a little bit of status, everyone has to give them face. I gave them a lesson today to tell them that not everyone will give them face, and that not everyone is willing to give them face. If they want face, then they have to fight for it themselves. What right do they have to slap others' faces and hope that others will smile at them? I have to let them know that if they slap others' faces, others will slap them back. Moreover, the slap will be even heavier than theirs. Good. You're the best. Tang Jiu reprimanded. Her face and ears were red from Su Yun's words just now, and her heart was beating wildly. Otherwise, she wouldn't have escaped so quickly. It was all Su Yun's fault for saying that she was the daughter-in-law of the Su family. It made her feel like a little girl's longing was boundless. Not far away, there was an arrogant fatty who was drinking glass after glass of Chateau Bordeaux red wine. He laughed and greeted everyone as he walked around. Very quickly, he attracted the attention of Tang Jiu and Su Yun. Tang Jiu said, "This person is called Bao Bazong. Although he's only 35 years old, he's already the chairman of Bazong Real Estate Development Company, Limited. He's an outsider. He came to Jibei City 10 years ago, and used a few dollars to buy and sell popsicles on the streets. Later on, he opened a small restaurant. Finally, he developed into a real estate development company and 2 large supermarkets. He's definitely a business genius." While they were still talking, Bao Bazong had already walked in front of Tang Jiu and Su Yun. The fatty raised his glass without saying anything. Oh, I was wondering who it was. So it's little sister Tang Jiu. Ha. Today, I wish you all the best in your ascension to the throne. If there's anything you need, tell me. I'll have nothing to say. Then little Jiu will thank Brother Song here. Tang Jiu said politely, if there's anything I don't understand in the future, I hope Brother Song can guide me. Oh little sister Jiu, you're being modest again. The Tang Group's real estate development company is several levels higher than mine. Aren't you making fun of me? Aha. I heard that you found a boyfriend. It must be this person, right? Bao Bazong smiled and politely extended his hand to Su Yun. Brother, you're young and promising. You'll definitely become someone great in the future. Su Yun reached out to shake his hand and smiled politely. I've heard about Brother Song building a legend in 10 years. I'll definitely learn from you in the future. Ah, you're too polite. Too polite. You're too polite. Bao Bazong laughed and said, Little sister Jiu, you've definitely found the right husband. Believe in Brother Song's eyes. He's so bright. Ha, you guys go and do your work. There are a few acquaintances over there. I'll go and say hello. Tang Jiu nodded with a red face. Calling him husband. Only this guy could think of it. It really made Tang Jiu embarrassed. She could only quickly change the topic. You're so polite to them because they're giving you face? Of course. This is called flattering each other and improving together. Su Yin. They're giving me face. If I don't give them face, it's also called embarrassing them. Tang Jiu shrugged. Okay, you know more. Guests arrived one after another. Every one of them was a prominent figure, but only 1/10 of them were willing to talk to Tang Jiu and greet him. The only one who clearly expressed his support for Tang Jiu to take over the Tang family was Bao Bazong. Although this person was a business genius in northern Ji, he wasn't a local tyrant. His power was indeed lacking compared to the others. Finally, when almost all the guests had arrived, it was time for Tang Jiu to give a speech. However, before Tang Jiu went on stage, Tang Yifei picked up the microphone first and spoke to everyone present. Dear guests, dear friends, today is the day that the new head of the Tang Group officially takes over the Tang family's banner. I, Tang Yifei, would like to thank everyone on behalf of the Tang family for having so many good friends come to support us. Seeing that Tang Yifei was ready to steal the limelight from the start, Tang Sangwa and Tang Yi were naturally unwilling. Tang Yi looked at his father and said to Tang Yifei, "Second brother, you've said enough. Don't forget that the main character today is Jiumei. Don't waste time. You're not the one that everyone wants to see." Although Tang Yifei was angry and embarrassed, he knew that he couldn't show his anger at this time. After all, there were so many guests at the banquet. He had to show his magnanimity and generosity. Only then would others think that he was the most suitable person to take over the Tang family's future. Ha ha ha, fourth brother is right. I'm a little excited today, and might have said too much. Now let's invite the new head of the Tang group, Tang Jiu, to give a speech on stage. Tang Yifei immediately changed his strategy. Okay. There were so many guests present. It seemed that only Bao Basong was clapping and cheering. Everyone else's reaction was very calm. Fortunately, with this person leading the way, at least the applause was sparse for a while. There wasn't any awkward silence. Tang Jiu was already prepared to face this situation. She took a deep breath and seemed to have forgotten what she wanted to say in an instant. Su Yin whispered in her ear, "What are you afraid of? You're the head of the Tang family. You can say whatever you want. If anyone doesn't give you face, you'll embarrass them. If anyone gives you face, you'll give them face. It's so simple. Go." After receiving Su Yun's encouragement, Tang Jiu suddenly felt a strong burst of confidence in her heart. Su Yun was right. This was the situation now. If she insisted on giving face to those who didn't give her face, they would think that she was a sick cat. She was the successor of the Tang family. She didn't need to consider what others thought. When Tang Jiu took the microphone from Tang Yifei's smile was very meaningful. He was waiting to see Tang Jiu make a fool of herself. He wanted to see how Tang Jiu could mobilize these people who were usually closer to him. If Tang Jingtian was still here, these people wouldn't dare to act rashly. But now, Tang Jingtian was far away in Hudong City. He also said that he wouldn't interfere with the Tang family's business anymore. Although he didn't wash his hands in a gold basin, he had completely retired. Tang Jiu paused and smiled slightly. "Greetings, seniors. Today, I'm taking over the Tang Corporation. It's my honor to have so many seniors here to support me. Here, I'd like to thank everyone." Then Tang Jiu bowed deeply. She would give these people enough face. If they didn't know how to interact with others, then she wouldn't be polite to them anymore. "Everyone here, before this, everything was handled by my father. I didn't take over much of the Tang family's business. There are many things that I don't understand. I hope you can forgive me." Tang Jiu said lightly, "If I've done anything wrong, I hope you can forgive me." Finally, the first person spoke. "Tang Jiu, actually you don't have to ask too much about the Tang family's business. We'll still interact with each other. We'll still contact Tang Yifei when it comes to investments and finances. You don't have to worry about that." Chapter 210. A subtle smile appeared on Tang Yifei's face. This was the feeling he wanted. He wanted to let people know that the Tang family could do without a successor like Tang Jiu, but they couldn't do without Tang Yifei. He wanted to see how Tang Jiu would deal with Ma Tianyi's tit for tat. However, Tang Jiu didn't lower her status because of this. She didn't play her cards according to Tang Yifei's plan. Instead, she looked at Ma Tianyi and said, "Chairman Ma, I heard that your business in Jibei has been doing very well recently. I looked at the accounts yesterday. Last year, you borrowed 100 million from the Tang family to expand the business for half a year. You've already delayed the repayment by half the time. Logically speaking, you should pay 50% of the penalty, which is 30 million. However, you only paid 10 million in interest and delayed the use of the money. This doesn't matter because you have a good relationship with my second brother. However, it's different now. Since I've taken over the Tang family's accounts have to be tidy. Otherwise, some people will use the Tang family's investment as an interest-free loan even though they already have the ability to repay it." Ma Tianyi's face paled at Tang Jiu's words. Ever since he started his business, he had received at least 500 million yuan of investment from the Tang family. However, he had always returned it on time. This time, he felt that if he could use this 100 million yuan of investment for a year with only 10 million yuan of interest, it would be perfect. He had discussed this with Tang Yifei. Tang Yifei had a close relationship with him, so he didn't say anything. Therefore, this was all just words. There was no agreement. If Tang Jiu turned against him now, he would have to pay 50 million plus 10 million, plus the 100 million capital. It would be enough to destroy him, because all his money was invested in the production line. If he suddenly took out so much money, he would definitely collapse. I've asked Yifei about this. Ma Tianyi panicked. I only saw the agreement you signed when you borrowed money for investment. I don't care about anything else. Who did you talk to? Tang Jiu's voice turned cold. If the Tang family was handed over to my second brother, it would be useful if you told him. However, I'm the one taking over the Tang family now. Unless you tell me, nothing else will work. Ma Tianyi's back was drenched in cold sweat when he heard those words. Ma Tianyi's heart was drenched in cold sweat. Second brother, although my father has retired, the person on stage now is me. Then I think you should know what to do. Since you can't be responsible for the finance company, then I can only take back the rights of the borrower. Tang Jiu said casually, from tomorrow onwards, you don't have to worry about anything. I will personally check all the accounts. Our Tang family's supermarket in Shiko doesn't have anyone to take care of it for the time being. You'll have to bear with it and take care of it for a few days. The supermarket in Shiko? That was a place that even Tang Kun and the others would rather be idle than go to. A supermarket with less than 20 people and a daily turnover of less than 30,000. What was there to be responsible for? Tang Yifei's mind buzzed. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never have thought that Tang Jiu would actually dare to strip him of his power, right in front of him. Ninth sister, what do you mean by this? Tang Yifei couldn't sit still. Even if you're in charge of the Tang family now, you can't make decisions so easily. Do you know what will happen if I leave? You can't handle it. Tang Jiu said coldly. What makes you think that I can't handle it? Second brother. Today I want to tell you that it's not just the things that you're responsible for. I, Tang Jiu, can handle everything in the Tang family. Everyone here today has dealings with the Tang family. If you acknowledge me as Tang Jiu, then you can directly contact me if there's anything. Everything that you contact with others doesn't count, because the Tang family's money can only be allocated by me. These words made the people who originally had the mentality of watching a show nervous. No one thought that this little girl's declaration would be so straightforward. Wasn't she afraid of causing chaos in the Tang family? If Su Yin didn't come, perhaps Tang Jiu really wouldn't dare to do this. But today with Su Yin here, she really wasn't afraid. Little Jiu, although you're the successor of the Tang family, the Tang family doesn't belong to you alone. Tang Sangwa couldn't sit still. If Tang Jiu only took the power of Tang Jinfeng and Tang Yifei, then he would definitely be secretly happy. But Tang Jiu's words were to take everyone's power. This matter was a little big. Tang Jiu met Tang Sangwa's gaze. Third uncle, do you dare to say this to my father? I remember that my father said that he was the head of the Tang family. Then the entire Tang family is his. All of you have to get his approval before doing anything. Without his approval, no one is allowed to do anything that you think is infallible. At that time, none of you dared to say this. Tang Sangwa's Adam's apple moved. He finally understood now. Tang Jiu was doing this for the others to see, letting them know who had the final say in the Tang family. Those who didn't treat her like a dish quickly took a break. Once again, I want to thank all of you guests who came to support me. Thank you for your good cooperation with the Tang family. Tang Jiu smiled slightly. If everyone thinks that Tang Jiu is still competent and wants to cooperate with the Tang family led by Tang Jiu in the future, then give me a round of applause. After saying this, the people who didn't have much of a reaction all began to clap along with Bao Bazong. The applause grew louder and louder until it was earth-shattering. When the applause died down, Tang Jiu spoke again. A while ago, my father's health wasn't very good. There seemed to be some subtle changes in the cooperation between us. Whether it was because of our own Tang family members or because of the bad intentions of outsiders, I, Tang Jiu, know very well. And now that I've become the head of the Tang family, perhaps there are many people who want to ostracize and suppress me. Her words seemed to have hit the nail on the head. The entire banquet fell silent. No one thought that Tang Jiu would be so direct. She didn't give them any face at all. Only Su Yin knew that Tang Jiu had listened to his words. Why should she give face to those who didn't want to give face to her? Was her face to be used by others to humiliate her? She might as well fall out with them first before giving them a sweet date. Those who could cooperate with her would naturally remember her sweet date. Those who couldn't cooperate with her, even if she gave them a peach of immortality, it would be useless. Forget it, I don't want to talk about this anymore. After all, today is a good day, Tang Jiu said. Although I, Tang Jiu, have become the head of the Tang Family Corporation, with my experience and abilities, there are definitely many areas where I'm lacking. I hope that everyone can forgive me in the future. If you don't mind, you can also give Tang Jiu some help and suggestions. Tang Jiu will definitely remember them. Here, I thank everyone in advance. When Tang Jiu bowed, Bao Basong led the applause again. Some people were just doing it out of courtesy, but there were also some who were really affected by Tang Jiu's words. After bowing, Tang Jiu smiled slightly. Here, I'd like to introduce someone to everyone. When the Tang family was at its most difficult, when I, Tang Jiu, was at my most difficult, he was the one who helped me. If it weren't for him, perhaps the Tang family wouldn't be what it is today, and I wouldn't be able to become the head of the Tang family. He is Su Yin. Su Yin was stunned. F***ck. Why are you doing this? Do you have to put me in front of everyone and make me the target of everyone's criticism? I don't want to be shot into an hourglass by those cold gazes. But since Tang Jiu had already said so, if Su Yin didn't step forward, it would really be a slap to Tang Jiu's face. This was the time when he should give Tang Jiu face the most. Of course, Su Yin knew very well that he couldn't back down. However, even if Su Yin stepped forward, how many people would recognize him? Everyone cast their curious gazes on Su Yin. Looking at this unknown guy in front of them, waves of guesses arose. Everyone had their own opinions. But most of them felt that Su Yin was a gigolo who came to the Tang family to eat and drink. Some of their voices were quite loud, and didn't intend to give Su Yin any face at all. Su Yin didn't even need to look. He could tell from the voice that the person who hated him so much was obviously Qi Zhenxiang. Even though there was a lot of discussion in the hall, Su Yin wasn't afraid. He generously picked up the microphone and said, "Since I'm fated to meet all of you here today, it means that we will have many interactions in the future. Those who are willing to give me face, I will remember their kindness. We will be friends when we meet. Those who don't want to have anything to do with me, I won't force them. At most, they will be strangers who don't nod their heads when we meet. I've said what I wanted to say. Finally, I want to emphasize that those who don't give Tang Jiu face are going against me, Su Yin. Those who help Tang Jiu, treat it as doing me a favor. As for whether it's worth it or not, you can think about it yourselves." Qi Zhenxiang sneered. "You are nothing more than a chef in a small town. Doing you a favor? Ha ha ha, you still have the nerve to say whether it's worth it or not. I really don't think it's worth it to say that." Qi Zhenxiang dared to openly challenge Su Yin, not because of Tang Jiu, but because he was annoyed that Su Yin had talked back to him. He wanted to become in-laws with the Tang family, but he didn't want to lower his status. This was a chance to let the Tang family know that he, Qi Zhenxiang, was not a vegetarian rabbit. He was a carnivorous wolf. "Mr. Qi, the coal business is not good, but don't vent your anger on the Tang family. That's not good." Su Yin smiled. "I heard that the Tang family's business needs thousands of tons of coal every day, right? That's more than 30,000 tons in a month." Qi Zhenxiang glared at him. "Kid, are you threatening me? To put it bluntly, you are an outsider. You don't have the right to make decisions for the Tang family. Do you think that the relationship between the Tang family and me is something you can sow discord with just a few words? I'm not trying to sow discord. I just want to make a friend. No matter what price you offer, I can get a discount of 100 yuan for every 5,500 calories per ton, 80 yuan for 4,800 calories per ton, and 50 yuan for 3,500 calories per ton." Su Yin sneered. "When the time comes, Let Tangjio choose for himself. I believe that he can save at least 7 digits in expenses every month. Anyone can do that, right? Chapter 211. I'll raise the price to 600 for 5,500 calories of coal. Qi Zhenqiang clenched his fists. He gritted his teeth and lowered the price to a level that even he could not bear. It was impossible to buy 5,500 calories of coal at this price. Qi Zhenqiang's previous cooperation with the Tang family had cost him $750 per ton, and that was because it was a long-term supply. According to the price of 750 yuan per ton, the Tang family's 3 heavy-duty factories would have to spend over 22 million yuan to purchase coal every month. Although Qi Zhenqiang's reduction in price was only 150 yuan per ton, if the Tang family used 30,000 tons of coal every month, they would be able to save 5 million yuan. This was the price that Qi Zhenqiang had given up on all the profits after calculating all the expenses of the coal field and the cost of coal washing. He did not believe that anyone would be able to offer a lower price than his. Sometimes people live to fight for their pride. Su Yin shrugged his shoulders. He did not expect Qi Zhenqiang to play such a big game. If it was 5,500 kilowatt-hours of coal, Su Yin did have some connections to get it for 650 yuan. That was if the other party had done him a big favor and earned him some money to smoke, drink, and eat. But Qi Zhenqiang's price of $600 was obviously not caring about anything else. He just wanted to make a profit. Moreover, if something happened, he would lose money. Su Yin was not stupid. At this time, there was no need to fight with Qi Zhenqiang. Even if he did not ask for money, there would be people who would give him thousands of tons of coal for free. However, Su Yin was not the kind of person who would ask for money. President Qi is too sincere. You have already given such a suitable price. If the Tang family were to look for others to cooperate with, they would not know how to appreciate favors. Su Yin smiled. Xiaojiu, did you hear that? President Qi said that coal for 5,500 kilowatt-hours is only 600 yuan per ton. If that's the case, you should hurry up and discuss the contract with President Qi. I'll ask him to return the coal for 650 yuan per ton first. Looking at Su Yin's serious expression, Tangju nodded seriously and said to Qi Zhenqiang gratefully, Uncle Qi, I did not expect you to help me so much after little Jiu took over. I believe that in the future, Tang Corporation and Jiangyang Coal Mine will be a strong alliance and get closer. Qi Zhenqiang suddenly felt disgusted. Although the price was not enough to make him lose money and jump off a building, he still felt like he was being cheated. But after all, he was a person with status and reputation. If he said that he could not do it, wouldn't he be slapping himself in the face? At this moment, Qi Zhenqiang knew what it was like to be in silence. He forced a smile and said, Little niece, of course I will support your work. Ha ha ha. In the midst of his forced laughter, Qi Zhenqiang was a little angry at his disappointing son. He did not even have the ability to pick up girls. If he could get Tangjiu directly, he would not have to be so submissive now. He would not have to have a headache over the dangerous coal mine. After all this time, the original Tang Corporation will be under the Su family name after today, right? Suddenly, another person stood up. He was about 40 years old and was full of energy. His whole body exuded an aura of superiority. Tangjiu whispered in Su Yun's ear. This person is called Dong Tianhua. He is the owner of Jibei City's largest hotel chain. Huatian Hotel was established by him. There are more than 10 hotels in Jiangbei. He can be considered as a top figure. Su Yun had heard of Huatian Hotel before. It was a 5-star hotel under Jiangbei Province's own brand. In other words, it was a 5-star hotel that only existed locally. A hotel of this level would require hundreds of millions of investment. To be able to open more than 10 hotels in Jiangbei Province, one could imagine that this person was not simple. If the Tang family is no longer under the Tang family name, then I don't think there is any need for us to continue working together. Dong Tianhua knew that he did not have a special supply relationship with the Tang family. That was why he dared to say such things. Moreover, he knew that the more he humiliated the kid on the stage today, the more Tang Yifei would book important guests or important events at his hotel in the future. Su Yun smiled slightly. First of all, I want to make it clear that my relationship with the Tang family is only because of Tang Jiu. Otherwise, I would not be standing here. The current head of the Tang family is Tang Jiu, not me. If Mr. Dong does not wish to work with the Tang family anymore, that is fine. The Tang family can cancel all ties with Hua Tian Hotel from today onwards. The previous accounts can be settled, but there will be no more ties after that. I think the Tang family can find any hotel as a long-term partner. Dong Tianhua snorted. Whatever. Then I want to see what you, an outsider, can do in the Tang family. Today, I will speak on behalf of everyone present. If the Tang group is still under the Tang family, then find a member of the Tang family to speak up. If not, then I have no reason to stay. These words were very decisive. It seemed that Tang Jiu had to come up to save the situation. Tang Yifei and the others were very clear now that this was the time to make things difficult for Tang Jiu. As long as Su Yun did not have a chance to speak, Tang Jiu would not be able to deal with so many people's war of words. However, before Tang Jiu could explain, a coquettish voice sounded from the corner. Dong Tianhua, who do you think you are? Do you represent everyone? This voice was both unfamiliar and familiar to Su Yun's ears. Su Yun was a little confused. He looked in the direction of the voice and saw Wang Zhe, who he had chased for several miles last night. On the other side of Wang Zhe stood a young man dressed frivolously. Between the two of them stood a woman exuding a natural air of arrogance. Su Yun's mind buzzed. How could it be her? Dong Tianhua was furious. He had been called out by name and dared to say that he was a nobody. Of course, he turned around angrily and scolded. Who are you? How dare you? However, before he could finish speaking, Dong Tianhua's expression changed. The rest of his words were all swallowed into his stomach. The others present also looked in the direction of the voice. In an instant, the whole place was silent. The woman's arrogant aura and temperament made it difficult for people to look at her. Even Tang Jinfeng and Tang Sangua were stunned. They didn't expect that they would provoke such a big figure. White Lips Bamboo Leaf Green Zuomeyan. This name was the most soul-stirring name in the entire Jiangbei province in the past 2 years. It was also the name that scared people the most. This woman had appeared on many occasions, and all of them were big occasions. Even if Tang Jingtian was present, he would still have to be courteous to her. After all, this woman was the successor of Zhang Taisui, who could make Jiangbei province shake with a sneeze. It could be said that in the entire Jiangbei province, if Zhuo Meiyan said that she was number 2, no one would dare to say that they were number 1. Not only was this woman appointed by Zhang Taisui, but she had also been imparted to her by Zhang Taisui. This was no joke. Zhang Taisui, that old demon, was a legendary figure who dared to live alone in the Amazon rainforest for several years. His position in Jiangbei province was like Mount Tai and the Big Dipper. Although Zhang Taisui had passed away, Zhuo Meiyan had shown her amazing strength at his funeral. She had taught a lesson to a few people who had been humiliated by Zhang Taisui and wanted to cause trouble. After that, Zhuo Meiyan's name, the White Lips Bamboo Leaf Green, had spread throughout Jiangbei province. Although many people knew that she lived in Jibei City, no one knew where she was or what she was doing. She was a bamboo leaf green entrenched in a mysterious place in Jibei City. Although she didn't do anything on a normal day, once someone damaged her, or the things that Zhang Taisui had left behind, she would suddenly come out and bite them hard. Her bite would often cause people to either die or be seriously injured, so no one dared to touch her. Zhang Taisui's biggest hobby in his life was the entertainment industry. That was why his Sky Entertainment Group was still operating normally. Although Zhang Taisui was dead, he was still the biggest entertainment tycoon in Jiangbei province. Entertainment clubs, film companies, and celebrities under his name were enough to make people's eyes light up. The person who secretly took care of everything was Zhuo Meiyan, the White Lips Bamboo Leaf Green. I didn't expect that the old man would dare to make decisions on behalf of everyone in this kind of situation after he left for less than 2 years. Zhuo Meiyan spoke with a seductive tone. If a man didn't have enough willpower, he would probably be unable to resist just by looking at her and listening to her say a few words. Fortunately, those who were present here had some ability and willpower, so no one's legs went weak. Miss Zwa, just now I didn't mean what I said. I didn't mean to say that I could make decisions on behalf of everyone. I just wanted to express everyone's opinions. No matter how arrogant Dong Tianhua was, he didn't dare to say anything in front of Zhuo Meiyan. This woman was like a poisonous snake. Every year, Sky Entertainment Group sent many celebrities all over Jiangbei province. Whether it was for TV shows, movies, or other activities, Sky Entertainment Group always chose his Huatian hotel. It was because Zhang Taisui felt that his local hotel should let his own people earn some money, not some Shangri-La or Sheldon. 60% of the annual income of Huatian Hotel in Jiangbei province came from Sky Entertainment Group. Therefore, Sky Entertainment Group was Dong Tianhua's parent. He didn't dare to offend them even if he was beaten to death. Zhuo Meiyan didn't seem to want to hear his explanation. Is that so? Then do you think the opinion you expressed was what everyone wanted? Yes. Yes. Dong Tianhua didn't understand what this woman was trying to say. He was panicking. I'm sorry, President Dong. I don't like it when others speak on behalf of me. What's more, it's not what I want to say. Therefore, I suddenly hate you. Zhuo Meiyan said coldly. She pointed at her brother beside her. Yi Ming, immediately cancel all future arrangements for signed artists to stay at Huatian Hotel. If there's a notice that they've moved in, immediately move out and replace them. If anyone dares to act like a big shot and refuse, immediately ban them. If anyone dares to stay at Huatian Hotel in the future, give them a warning. If they don't listen, ban them too. Chapter 212. What a domineering aura. Everyone who heard it couldn't help but sigh. She didn't want to cooperate just like that. Dong Tianhua was so shocked that he almost fell to the ground. Su Yin had never thought that they would meet again under such circumstances. Thinking back to the Zhuo Meiyan from 3 years ago, although she was like a completely different person compared to now, the arrogance in her bones had never changed. However, the brat beside her seemed to have completely changed. Miss Zhuo, why are you here? Although Tang Zhenfeng wasn't the head of the Tang Corporation, he was the oldest and most experienced among all the Tang family members present. Even he felt quite shocked when he saw Zhuo Meiyan. Zhuo Meiyan smiled slightly and walked forward gracefully. Tang Corporation's Miss Tang Jiu's ascension ceremony. Of course I wanted to come and drink a cup of wine. Although no one informed me, I'm a thick-skinned person, and I'm very self-aware, so I came myself. If the Tang family doesn't welcome me, then just take it that I'm imagining things. Tang Zhenfeng didn't dare to say that he didn't welcome her. His face was 30% surprised and 70% pleasantly surprised. Thank you for thinking so highly of us, Miss Zhuo. The Tang family's face is really glorious. Even Miss Zhuo is giving us face. This really makes everyone in the Tang Corporation feel flattered. You don't need to feel flattered. I'm here to give Miss Jiu face. It has nothing to do with you people. Zhuo Meiyan didn't give him any face. After she finished speaking, she didn't look at Tang Jiu, but at Su Yun, who was in front of Tang Jiu. Although Tang Jiu didn't have much experience, he was very clear that this bamboo snake in front of him didn't come here to give him face. It could be said that he and Zhuo Meiyan had nothing to do with each other. Forget about socializing. Even meeting her was only the second time. The first time was when Zhang Taisui had passed away. Tang Zhengtian had led all of the Tang clan's direct descendants to burn incense. Tang Jiu clearly remembered that Zhu Yeqing, who was wearing mourning clothes, had an aura that was difficult to resist. And now, Zhuo Meiyan, who was wearing a gorgeous dress, was displaying the unique charm of her green bamboo dress to everyone. It was a charm that both men and women found hard to resist. Tang Zhenfeng was rendered speechless by Zhuo Meiyan's words. He couldn't believe that Tang Jiu was able to invite this person. Soon he, like everyone else, looked at Su Yun, who was standing in front of Tang Jiu. Sisters was words really flatter little Jiu. Little Jiu really doesn't know what to say. Tang Jiu smiled. From now on, sisters was matters are Tang Corporation's matters. Ha ha ha. Zhuo Meiyan covered her mouth with her hand and laughed. Ninth sister really knows how to talk. Since it's like this, I can only say that from now on, ninth sister's matters are my matters. If anyone dares to make things difficult for you, then they can't blame me for not showing mercy. Zhuo Meiyan's words were 30% serious and 70% joking. But whether or not these words were true, it really made those who wanted to make things difficult for Tang Jiu eat a bomb. At least for now, no one dared to openly challenge Tang Jiu. After all, the bamboo snake's words had just been said, and no one wanted to provoke it. Zhuo Yeming couldn't help but whisper in Zhuo Meiyan's ear. Sister, how did you get involved with the Tang family? We're not here to support Tang Jiu. We're here to give face to my future brother-in-law. I know. Zhuo Meiyan glared at her brother. She wasn't in a hurry to talk to Su Yun. Instead, she sat on the chair that Wang Zhe had brought over, and quietly looked at Su Yun. Being stared at by such a devilish woman, Su Yun was immediately speechless. If it weren't for Tang Jiu's presence, Su Yun would have gone up and asked this bamboo snake why it was so high profile. After Zhuo Meiyan appeared, all the big shots in the hall fell silent. No one wanted to be the first to take a bullet in such a situation. There were already 3 people who had died at the banquet. Qi Zhenqiang from Jiangyang Coal Mine, Ma Tianyi from Jibei Management, and Dong Tianhua from Huatian Hotel. Which one of them wasn't a big shot? Yet they still couldn't take it. Everyone, today is a good day for Tang Jiu to officially take over the Tang Group. On behalf of the Tang family, I hope that everyone will have a good night here. Tang Sangwa was afraid that the Tang family's banquet would be cold, so he said this to end the conversation. Naturally, there was music and dancing at the banquet. Everyone who came wasn't just because of the Tang family, but also because they wanted to get closer to each other. Those who had a business relationship with the Tang family would strengthen their relationship, while those who didn't could get to know each other better. Who knew when they would work together? Only when the atmosphere livened up would those who were intimidated by Zhuo Meiyan's aura relax. Although many people wanted to leave, they didn't dare to leave first because of Zhuo Meiyan. Everyone was afraid that this bamboo snake would fly into a rage because of their actions. Su Yun, your old acquaintance, has helped us so much. Shouldn't we go and give her a toast? It was unknown when Tang Jiu had brought 2 glasses of red wine to Su Yun. Her words had a hidden meaning, which made Su Yun feel that something was wrong. Su Yun took the wine glass. How do you know that I know her? It's very simple. I don't have much interaction with her. In the entire Tang family, only my father has a little bit of friendship with Zhang Taisui, so she wouldn't help me for no reason, Tang Jiu said. Also, the way she looks at you is very unusual. Can't you feel it? If you don't, then let me tell you. I can see it very clearly. Su Yun was speechless. Then whatever you say. The 2 of them brought their wine glasses to Zhuo Meiyan's side, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Without a doubt, no one dared to look directly at them. Everyone pretended not to care, and looked in that direction out of the corner of their eyes. The people who were most interested in this matter were the members of the Tang family. They all wanted to know the relationship between Tang Jiu and the white-lipped bamboo snake. This was related to the future development of the Tang family and their own interests. Thank you for just now. Su Yun walked in front of Zhuo Meiyan and smiled. He raised his wine glass. Here's to you. Tang Jiu also said very seriously to the person in front of him. Sister Zhuo, if you don't mind, after drinking this glass of wine, you can treat Tang Jiu as your sister. I hope you can take care of me in the future. Zhuo Meiyan looked at Su Yun. She didn't even look at Tang Jiu out of the corner of her eye. The bashfulness that a woman should have was completely revealed on her face. The aura of a queen from before had instantly disappeared. Cough. Sister, can you pay attention to the situation? There are so many people here. It's embarrassing to act like a love-struck fool in public. Zhuo Yeming was speechless. He really couldn't see what charm his future brother-in-law had. How did he manage to make his otherworldly sister so infatuated? Tang Jiu realized that the 2 of them didn't just know each other. Although she saw the way Zhuo Meiyan threw herself into Tang Jiu's arms, she knew that she couldn't do anything about it. Since that was the case, she didn't want to be a third wheel. She drank the wine in her glass in one gulp. Take your time chatting. Zhuo Yeming smiled at Tang Jiu and followed behind her. Miss Jiu, I'm really sorry. My sister is like this. She can't stand girls who are younger and prettier than her. Tang Jiu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zhuo Meiyan's skin was as white as jade. There weren't even any wrinkles on her face. No matter how you looked at her, she didn't look like a woman in her 30s. Moreover, she was full of femininity. She should be the kind of woman that women of any age would be envious of. Zhuo Meiyan definitely had the qualifications to stand beside her and look down on her. One had to know that that woman was 8 years older than her, but she couldn't see it at all. If they were talking about inferiority, shouldn't Tang Jiu be the one feeling inferior? Thank you. Tang Jiu smiled. I want to know the relationship between Su Yun and your sister. If you don't mind, can you tell me? Zhuo Yiming thought for a moment. He really didn't know how to say it, so he simply said, he should be my sister's man. That's what my sister said. I can't be sure. Tang Jiu was stunned for a moment. She didn't say anything else. Instead, she took another glass of wine and walked directly into the crowd. She definitely had the upper hand today, so she wanted to use this opportunity to let everyone know that the Tang Corporation belonged to her, Tang Jiu. She wanted to make them remember her. After watching Tang Jiu leave, Zhuo Yiming turned around to look at his sister and Su Yun. He said to Wang Zhe, who had been following him, "What do you think is so good about my brother-in-law? It's one thing for my sister, that love-struck fool, to be head over heels for him. But why is it that the Tang family's 9th young miss looks like she's been bewitched?" When she heard that Su Yun is my sister's man, her expression changed. Yiming, don't talk nonsense. Wang Zhe glared at him. Be careful that Sister Meiyan doesn't teach you a lesson if she finds out. F***ck, if you don't say it, I won't say it. Who will know that I'm talking nonsense? Let's go and have a drink. The wine here is pretty good. We can't come here for nothing. At least we can drink to our heart's content. Zhuo Yiming smiled and hugged Wang Zhe. Instantly, Wang Zhe had a feeling that others would mistake them for being gay. Now the entire banquet's focus was on Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan. Especially when Su Yun's relaxed state of mind when facing Zhuo Meiyan, everyone's opinion of him changed in an instant. No one would believe that a medicinal cuisine chef from a small city on the east side of the river could have such an aura when facing a white-lipped bamboo snake. Chapter 213. Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan stared at each other for a full minute. Neither of them spoke. In the end, Zhuo Meiyan couldn't help but break the silence. We haven't seen each other in so long. Aren't you going to give me a hug? Su Yun smiled bitterly. We haven't seen each other in so long, but you haven't changed at all. Aren't you the same? You're still such a nice guy. You even got involved in the Tang family's internal affairs. I really don't understand. Zhuo Meiyan smiled and took the initiative to pull Su Yun into her arms. Her breasts were pressed against Su Yun's chest, causing Su Yun to have to take a few deep breaths to calm himself down. Not many men dared to look her in the eyes for more than a minute, let alone a deep hug like Zhuo Meiyan. If they didn't have enough willpower, they probably wouldn't even dare to look at her. This hug happened in front of everyone. Everyone was stunned, especially the Tang family. They were even more certain that this woman wasn't here because of Tang Jiu. She was here because of Su Yun, an outsider who had gotten involved in the Tang family's internal affairs. Tang Yifei's heart couldn't calm down for a long time. He already found it hard to accept that Tang Jiu had taken back his power. Now he saw that there was another powerful force by his side that he couldn't afford to offend. He felt even worse. He couldn't see any hope for his future. Tang Jiu didn't look in Su Yun's direction at all. However, the reactions of the people around her made her feel that Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan weren't just friends. Right now she only wanted to drink. She didn't know if it was because of what happened today, or if it was because of Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan. Not far away, Zhuo Yiming patted Wang Zhe's shoulder and said, "Look at how infatuated my sister is. Last night, you said that you didn't tell Su Yun about her identity. Today, she took the initiative to throw herself into his arms. Io, she really can't leave this man. TSK my brain. I really don't understand Sister Mei Yan's thoughts more and more." Wang Zhe was rather speechless. Yesterday she wanted to kill me, but I didn't even dare to say her name. If I knew that she didn't mind at all, I would have just confessed everything. Maybe I could even get a cup of wine to drink, causing me to be on edge. Don't try to guess a woman's thoughts. Zui Yiming chuckled. This is also because you're stupid. Seeing this scene, Dong Tianhua and Qi Zhenxiang completely collapsed. This brat called Su Yin even dared to touch Zhang Taisui's woman. They couldn't believe their eyes. Even though Zhang Taisui was already dead, now that someone mentioned him, they would still be respectful and reverent. This was Zhang Taisui's influence in the entire Jiangbei province. Everyone knew that the white-lipped bamboo leaf Qing was Zhang Taisui's woman. But no one knew that the relationship between Zhang Taisui and Zhou Meiyan was only that of a master and disciple. Everyone treated Zhou Meiyan as Zhang Taisui's woman, so they respected her even more. The moment this bamboo snake, which everyone thought was absolutely untouchable, hugged Su Yin, Su Yin became a fierce person that no one dared to place in their hearts. Shock, Su Yin only brought them complete and utter shock. That's enough, right? There are so many people watching. Su Yin and Zhou Meiyan hadn't seen each other for 3 years. Being hugged by her as soon as they met again was more or less a little awkward. If there was no one else around, it would be fine. But now, they were in a brightly lit public place with so many people around. Zhou Meiyan didn't let go. Yan Long, who has never cared about worldly opinions, when did you start to care about other people's opinions? Don't tell me it's because of Tang Jiao? What are you talking about? Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry again. Your current status is too shocking. Look at how those people are looking at you. It's as if they're looking at a poisonous snake. If I dare to hug a poisonous snake like this, will they still dare to talk to me in the future? Zhou Meiyan let go of Su Yin and shrugged. This is the effect I want. In the northern Ji province, I won't let anyone touch you. If anyone dares to disrespect you, I'll let them know who's the boss in the northern Ji province. Su Yin knew that it was useless to say anything to her, so he could only resign himself to it. After old Master Zhang passed away, it seems like you've shouldered all his responsibilities. He really didn't misjudge you. It's not that he didn't misjudge you, but that you didn't misjudge you. Zhou Meiyan said calmly. If you hadn't entrusted Yiming and me to old Master Zhang, my brother and I wouldn't be here today, and old Master Zhang probably wouldn't have a successor. Right now, Sky Entertainment Corporation might already be in the hands of someone here. Su Yin looked around and saw that everyone was trembling in fear. He said suspiciously, who else here has that kind of ability? Who can take over old Master Zhang's business? Zhou Meiyan said calmly, no one here has that kind of ability, but the father of the young lady who took over today might have that kind of ability. Su Yin sucked in a breath of cold air. So Zhou Meiyan was referring to the Tang family, Tang Jingtian. It seems like you and the Tang family are fated. You've already had some sparks in the past. Yes. Zhou Meiyan didn't try to hide anything. If it weren't for you, I'd be happy to see the Tang family fall apart. When the time comes, I'll swallow it up bit by bit. Your bamboo green snake sure has a big appetite. Su Yin smiled helplessly. Zhou Meiyan's eyes were flirtatious. Yes, I don't just want to swallow the Tang family, I also want to swallow you. I'm just afraid you won't give me the chance. Su Yin saw that Zhou Meiyan was purposely acting like she couldn't hold back her thirst. His body trembled. He had to maintain his composure, or else he really would be swallowed by this white-lipped bamboo leaf spirit. Since you don't want to invite me to dance, I think I should leave first. I don't want your little friend Tang Jiao to get jealous, because we've been talking for too long. I've been watching her this whole time. She's already drunk more than 30 glasses of wine. Although this red wine isn't that strong, it's still quite strong. Zhou Meiyan's smile was especially mesmerizing. Even someone with a high alcohol tolerance can get drunk easily if they're in a bad mood. Su Yin smiled. I didn't think you'd be so magnanimous. TCH, I'm not being magnanimous, I'm being confident. I don't believe a little friend can compete with me in terms of charm. Zhou Meiyan smiled. If you really want a woman, I believe you'll find me to spend the night with, not her. Su Yin was truly defeated. So you're saying that you know I'm not thinking about a woman right now? Of course. Zhou Meiyan hugged Su Yin again, and whispered to him in an extremely low voice. Because when I hugged you just now, I didn't feel anything hard poking me, you know. What the hell? What an evil demon. Su Yun almost lost the composure that she had cultivated for more than 20 years, just because of that one sentence. A demoness, definitely a great demoness. If such a scourge wasn't only in love with Su Yun, who knows how many little boys would have died under her pomegranate skirt. Zhuo Meiyan pushed Su Yun away again and said affectionately, "If you want it, come find me anytime." Puffed. Su Yun swore that he almost spat out blood. Which man could resist this kind of temptation? If seductresses were divided into different grades, then Su Yun could guarantee that Zhuo Meiyan was the highest grade seductress. Zhuo Meiyan didn't say anything else and turned to leave. Zhuo Yeming and Wang Zhe, who were not far away, quickly followed. The three of them left proudly in the crowd, leaving behind a trail of dust. Not to mention this white-lipped bamboo green. Even if it was her younger brother, Cobra Zhuo Yeming, or her most capable assistant, Big Blade Rakshasa Wang Zhe, any one of them would be able to turn Jibei City upside down. Tang Xiaofeng and Tang Yi stood behind their father, Tang Sangua, and said in a low voice, "Dad, if the person I sent that day is right, the one who has been guarding Tang Jio's house while Su Yun was away for the past few days is Zhu Yeqing's Rakshasa." Humph. No wonder the two masters couldn't get close to Tang Jio. Su Yun had a trick up his sleeve. Tang Sangua's eyes were cold, and his expression was gloomy. "We can't leave those two alive. If they spread the news that we sent them out, I'm worried that Su Yun won't let us go." "Yes, I know what to do." Tang Xiaofeng's face was filled with murderous intent. After sending Zhuo Meiyan off, Su Yun quickly went to Tang Jio's side. Su Yun didn't know how much Tang Jio had drunk in such a short period of time. However, even with Tang Jio's high alcohol tolerance, her face was slightly flushed. "Tang Jio, that's enough. You can't drink anymore." Su Yun didn't hold back and took the wine glass from Tang Jio's hand. Tang Jio smiled drunkenly. She took the wine glass back from Su Yun's hand without a trace of anger. She introduced the person in front of her to Su Yun. "Su Yun, I want to drink this wine. This is Mr. Su from Hongwei Mechanical and Electrical. He has been working closely with our Tang Corporation. Do you think I should drink this wine?" "You should." Su Yun nodded. He knew he couldn't stop her. Tang Jio drank the wine in the glass without hesitation. "If you say I should drink, then I'll drink another glass." This time Su Yun wouldn't go along with her. "Who else do you want to drink with?" "I'll drink for you." "You'll drink for me? What makes you think you can drink for me? What makes you think you can drink for me?" Tang Jio got a little agitated as she spoke. It seemed like she couldn't suppress the excitement she had been suppressing for a long time. "Miss Tang, I'm wholehearted. A glass of wine is enough for us. I hope the Tang Corporation will take care of Hongwei Mechanical and Electrical in the future." Mr. Su from Hongwei Mechanical and Electrical was a reasonable person. He could tell that something was wrong with Tang Jio. Now that Su Yun was here, he quickly drank the wine in his glass and tried to persuade her. Tang Jio laughed. "Mr. Su is right. I'm wholehearted. You drink and have fun. I'll go over there and take a look." Su Yun put his arm around Tang Jio's shoulder and whispered to her, "You can't go anywhere. Come home with me now. Today is the first day you announce to the public that you're the president of the Tang Corporation. You can't embarrass yourself." Chapter 214. Su Yun called Tang Zhenfeng, Tang Sangua, and a few other elders together and asked them to handle the situation. Now that Tang Jio had said what needed to be said, he left first. Since Zhuo Meiyan had left, Su Yun did not need to serve the rest of the unimportant people. Although these uncles were unwilling to listen to Su Yun, an outsider, they had no choice but to agree because of his close relationship with Zhuo Meiyan. Since everything was settled, Su Yun did not delay any longer, and left with Tang Jio in a hurry. After returning to the Tang villa, the first thing Tang Jio did was to take out a bottle of vodka from the wine cabinet. Su Yun knew that she was unhappy, but he was not going to let her do as she wished. He went forward and tried to snatch it away. "Don't worry about me." Tang Jio yelled and angrily pushed Su Yun away. Then, she opened the bottle and drank without even using a glass. "You're crazy." Su Yun was speechless. "Tang Jio, if you want to drink, I'll accompany you. But if there's anything you're unhappy about, just say it. Don't keep it in your heart. I'm standing in your house in Jibei City, not to watch you drink alone. Tang Jiu waved her hand and blocked Su Yun's hand that was about to snatch the bottle again. If you don't want to watch, you can leave. No one is forcing you to stay here. Why do you have to be so impatient? If I'm outside, you can say that you're afraid that I'll embarrass myself. Now that I'm in my own house, it's not up to you to control me. Su Yun put on a straight face. Since I'm here, I won't let you mess around. I promised your father that I'll watch over you. Tang Jiu, don't make things difficult for me. Don't use my father to pressure me. Tang Jiu snorted. Now no one takes me seriously. Even when I want to take over my own family's business, there are still so many outsiders interfering with me. Today, I even needed a woman who has nothing to do with me to stop those people who want to see me embarrass myself. Now you want to control me? What right do you have to do that? I don't need it. Su Yun, I can accept your help because I don't see you as an outsider. But today, if it wasn't for Zhu Yeqing, I wouldn't have been able to return home so smoothly. The Tang Corporation is mine. Why does everyone have to listen to her? What right does she have? Su Yun knew that she was jealous. Although Zhu Yeyan's appearance today, it was all because she helped Tang. It had nothing to do with Tang Jiu's sake. Most importantly, Zhu Yeyan hugged him in front of so many people to make those who thought to think that he had a relationship with Jiu. And Zhu Jiu's. That would too. And Tang Jiu to be embarrassed to herself. So that was to the to. Jiu said. Zhu Tang, to be listen to me. To. Zhu of that. To you. To. Zhu you too. Zhu she is too. She is say I, is too. To. Tang Jiu sneered. Of course I know. She is here because of you. Why else would she help me? Su Yun, you don't have to apologize to me. I should be grateful to you. I should say thank you to you and that woman who has such an ambiguous relationship with you for helping me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to face those people today. Thank you. Su Yun wasn't someone who didn't have a temper. The reason why he could endure Tang Jiu's tantrums again and again was because he considered things from Tang Jiu's perspective. However, Tang Jiu couldn't understand him, so Su Yun stopped indulging her. After snatching the bottle from Tang Jiu's hand, the furious Su Yun threw it away. The bottle fell to the ground and broke into pieces. The whole room was filled with the strong smell of alcohol. Tang Jiu, put away your temper. You can be like this before, but you can't do it from now on. Su Yun said angrily. You have to understand your position. You are the successor of the Tang Corporation. You are the head of the Tang family. You're still a child if you're not here. Put away your temper and all these things. Everyone else can think that I have a special relationship with Zhu Meiyan, but you can't. Because you know who I am standing here for. Tang Jiu was like a frightened deer. She looked at Su Yun blankly. Her lips trembled as she said, Su Yun, can you tell me? Tell me that you don't have the kind of relationship with that woman that I think you have. A woman's sixth sense is very sensitive. I can see that woman's feelings for you. 3 years ago, I saved her life. I also saved her brother's life. She can take over the Sky Entertainment Group after Zhang Taisui passed away, because I sent her and her brother to grandfather Zhang's house. Su Yun said, if I tell you now that old Master Zhang is my godfather, will you understand why Zhu Meiyan wanted to help? Tang Jiu opened her mouth wide. She found it hard to believe that Zhang Taisui, who used to be so powerful in Jiangbei, was actually Su Yun's godfather. This was simply a fantasy story. How could Tang Jiu believe it? After all, Zhang Taisui was a legendary existence. Su Yun didn't want to talk about this at first. After all, it was all in the past. Moreover, when old Master Zhang passed away, he couldn't rush back because of a special mission in the Middle East. Later, he secretly went to old Master Zhang's grave to offer incense and toast. This matter had always been a knot in Su Yun's heart. He couldn't send grandfather Zhang off. It had always been a sore spot in his heart, so he didn't want to talk about it. Zhu Meiyan didn't appear at the Tang Corporation's banquet to help you. It was because of me. But she had enough reason to help me, not only because I was her master's godson, but also because if it weren't for me, she would have died in someone else's hands. Since Su Yin had opened his mouth, he couldn't stop. Zhuo Meiyan and Zhuo Yeming were both chosen by the foreign underground forces because of their special physical qualities. They were originally going to be developed into war machines. I happened to help them once. She did this out of gratitude. My relationship with her is that simple. You have the right to think too much, but I've explained everything. Zhuo Yeming only had memories of the past 3 years because his brain had been injected with a special drug. This drug could make a person's nerves of pain disappear, turning them into a fearless warrior. However, it was accompanied by the loss of all the memories of the past 3 years. When Su Yin appeared, Zhuo Yeming had already been injected with the drug, and Zhuo Meiyan had escaped. But because her body had been injected with many experimental drugs, her life was in danger. Su Yin almost did everything he could to save the lives of the siblings. But at that time, their bodies were very weak, so Su Yin sent them to their godfather, Zhang Taisui's house. She didn't expect that Mr. Zhang would feel like old friends at first sight. He also praised their extremely talented physiques. Zhang Taisui, who had never had any apprentices in his life, actually accepted them as his apprentices. Before his death, he passed on his strength as a master of the supreme power realm to them in a special way. This was also because of their physical qualities. Zhuo Meiyan's ability to accept things was better than Zhuo Yeming's. That was why she could become a supreme master in just 3 years. This period of time was terrifyingly short, but she really did it. Zhuo Yeming's strength also soared, and he became one of the best among the top masters. All of this was attributed to Zhang Taisui's bold initiative before his death. Su Yin knew that grandfather Zhang's death definitely had nothing to do with this, because he knew about the strange disease that had been passed down for generations in the Zhang family. If Zhuo Meiyan's behavior makes you uncomfortable, you can tell me, but don't use this method to resolve it. Su Yin stopped reminiscing about the past. He looked at Tang Jiu seriously and said, "From today onwards, in front of everyone, you have to emphasize over and over again that you are no longer the 9th daughter of the Tang family. You are the head of the Tang family. Your every action and every word represents the Tang family, not a child who hasn't grown up yet." Tang Jiu knew that she was overthinking things. She also knew that Su Yun's words made sense. However, she was still sure that Zhuo Meiyan didn't just feel grateful to Su Yun. But since Su Yun had already explained everything, Tang Jiu would indeed be a little immature if she continued to act like this. She quickly calmed herself down. Finally, she looked seriously at Su Yun and actually made a request. "Can you hug me?" F***ck. Su Yun was puzzled. When Zhuo Meiyan hugged him, he was sure that Tang Jiu didn't look in his direction. Why would this girl make such a request? Could it be that she didn't think about it when she made this request? After all, they were alone in a room. Wasn't she afraid that some sparks would fly? Without waiting for Su Yin to agree or reject, Tang Jiu had already stood up and hugged him. Just like Zhuo Meiyan, she didn't care about her soft breasts at all, and fiercely squeezed his chest. "Su Yin, I'm sorry. I couldn't control my emotions before. I promise it won't happen again." Tang Jiu buried her face in Su Yun's chest. She felt the unique gentleness of this man's body, as well as Su Yun's slightly chaotic heartbeat. This feeling was really good. She really hoped that she could stay like this forever and enjoy this feeling for the rest of her life. Su Yun couldn't do anything about her. No matter what, Tang Jiu was only a girl who had just turned 22. With such a big thing happening in her family, it wasn't very comfortable to have such a huge burden on her shoulders. Perhaps some people would envy her for being born in such a big family, where she didn't have to worry about food or clothing. However, they wouldn't understand the pressure she felt from being born in such a big family. It was precisely because Tang Jiu had everything that she was afraid of losing it all one day. What she wanted to protect wasn't this material thing, but all of her father's hard work and the stability of the Tang family that her mother had exchanged her life for. Su Yun reached out and patted Tang Jiu's back lightly. He said in a low voice, "I'm here." Chapter 215. This kiss was too sudden. Su Yun was not prepared at all. He felt as if a spirit snake had entered his mouth. Although his mind was a little muddled, his male instincts did not allow him to refuse. It was still the same sentence. Although he, Su-yun, was not a lecherous person, he was definitely not a Lu Xiaohui who could sit still. After Tang Jiu sensed Su-yun's response, she was even more immersed in the kiss. Although they did not have much practical experience, they had watched a lot of TV dramas and movies. Both of them had a lot of theoretical experience. Wasn't it just a French kiss? To be more romantic, it was nothing more than massaging the other party's back with his hands. Su-yun knew this, but it was hard for him to control himself when he wanted to extend his hands forward after massaging. Tang Jiu seemed to want to use this kiss to throw away all the troubles in her heart. So she was very immersed in the kiss. She admitted that she was jealous today, and very jealous. Previously, she was not sure what kind of feelings she had for Su-yun were. Even when Su-yun came back yesterday, she was still not sure if she had really fallen in love with him. But now she was sure. She was sure that her heart had been captured by the man in front of her. Tang Jiu, who had always been competitive in everything since she was young, admitted that she had lost in their relationship because she had fallen in love first. She had fallen in love with a man she knew did not treat her as his everything. This was something Tang Jiu never dared to believe. She had always been sure that she would not do such a thing. And the moment that endless feelings surged up from the bottom of her heart, Tang Jiu knew that what was to come would come. No matter how hard she tried to deny it, it would not change the fact that she had fallen deeply into the whirlpool of their relationship. She could not deny that she had not fallen in love with him. Since she could not deny it, she might as well show it completely. She used her actions to announce that she had been completely captured. She did not want to use this to tie Su-yun down. She just wanted to tell him that she had fallen in love with him. The passionate kiss that lasted for several minutes made it difficult for both of them to breathe. They did not know who broke up first, but when their lips parted, Su-yun was completely unable to extricate himself from Tang Jiu's hazy and seductive eyes. If this continued, something bad would definitely happen. Su-yun quickly adjusted his breathing to regain his consciousness. However, he was unable to control his surging emotions for a moment. Just as Su-yun was about to lose control of himself, Tang Jiu gave him an even more thrilling experience. She reached out and unzipped the back of the dress. Without any restraints, the dress couldn't be hung on Tang Jiu's smooth and fair shoulders. It slid to the ground cleanly. Su-yun's heart skipped a beat when she saw the freshness like a lotus flower emerging from the water. The mesmerizing lace underwear looked incomparably gorgeous under the light, completely attracting Su-yun's gaze that wanted to break free. It's over. If I die, then so be it. Su-yun's current thoughts were completely normal for a man. Su-yun dared to say that if it were any other man in his position, they would throw themselves at him regardless of their own safety, regardless of whether they were rolling on the bed or the sofa. Even if they were rolling on the floor, they would not hesitate at all. However, Su-yun had to break this norm. If he really laid his hands on Tang Jiu, would he still be able to return to Hadong? Back then, Xiangyu was too ashamed to face his parents in Jiangdong. Now Su-yun was too ashamed to face the lady boss of Hadong, Whoosh. Su-yun took a deep breath and rushed to the bar counter. Without saying anything, he took out a bottle of wine and poured it into his mouth without even looking at what it was. F***CK, I don't care anymore. Drink. If he drank 10 bottles at this speed, he was sure that even if he had undergone alcohol resistance training, he would still feel dizzy. It would be best if he didn't know anything at night. That way, he would feel less guilty. Tang Jiu did not expect Su-yun to do something like this. She watched as he drank more than 10 bottles of different kinds of wine as if he was thirsty for coke. Her mind was blank. One of the bottles was Tang Jingtian's precious 72-proof wine from the Confucius family. By the time Tang Jiu realized what was going on, Su-yun had already knocked himself out. After he stopped resisting alcohol, Su-yun became an ordinary drunk man. Why did you drink so much? Tang Jiu's mind was clear now. She was no longer pouring wine into her mouth like before. Looking at Su-yun, who was burning hot all over, she quickly put him on her shoulder. He reeked of alcohol. If she did not wash him off, the smell would not go away for the rest of the night. It was unknown if Su-yun was really drunk that quickly, or if he was faking it. When Tang Jiu lifted him up, he grabbed and hugged wildly. It seemed that he felt that it was easier to grab onto Tang Jiu's chest, so he directly hung both his hands on it. Tang Jiu bit her lower lip and scolded. "Su-yin, you bastard!" Tang Jiu could not be blamed for scolding him. She had taken the initiative to throw herself into his arms, but he drank so much. What was the meaning of this? Was he drinking to boost his courage, or was he trying to avoid Tang Jiu's sacrifice? Tang Jiu could not figure it out. His hands and feet were not obedient, and his whole body was like mud. Tang Jiu did not know where she got the courage to help a man take a bath. Although she did not take off Su-yun's clothes until the end, she still saw something that made her blush and her heart beat faster. In the end, she did not know how she got Su-yun onto the bed. She only knew that her entire body was aching. She wondered why Su-yun's body, which did not look very strong, was so heavy. It was just that his muscles were hard. Tang Jiu could not help but secretly feel it with her hands when she helped Su-yun wipe his body. It was indeed different from a woman's. She had always been confident in the elasticity of her breasts. Today, she met a guy with such a rock-hard chest. After getting Su-yun onto the bed, Tang Jiu also took a bath. After wiping her body clean, Tang Jiu kept pacing back and forth in front of the bathroom door. How was she going to sleep tonight? She was going to sleep alone. She was worried about Su-yun. She was still worried about Su-yun. She was still worried about Su-yun. All in all, Tang Jiu did not know if Su-yun would wake up in the middle of the night. This was a very serious problem. After careful consideration, Tang Jiu finally made up her mind. It was not like they had not slept on the same bed before. So what if they slept together? Anyway, no one would die. Besides, Su-yun was already so drunk. What was there to be afraid of? Taking a step back, even if Su-yun really wanted to do something to him, so what? Wasn't she already prepared to give her body to him? Forget it, she would leave it to fate. Tang Jiu made up her mind and really ran onto Su-yun's bed. If Su-yun really did something to her at night, it would be God's will. She was not going to resist. If Su-yun really did not have any reaction at night, it would also be God's will. Tang Jiu would pretend that nothing happened tonight. After mentally preparing herself, Tang Jiu laid down beside Su-yun with peace of mind. After lying down, she suddenly realized that all her previous nervousness was gone. It was as if she was doing something very normal. How should she describe it? It was like a wife lying beside her husband? Tang Jiu did not know if that was the right way to describe it, but she was not nervous at all. Instead, she felt very safe and fell asleep very quickly. The morning sun, which was not glaring, shone on the bed through the gap between the two curtains. However, it did not affect Qianfeng's sleep at all. His time in Hudong was really comfortable. He could sleep as long as he wanted and eat whatever he wanted. Compared to his life in the Dragon Brigade, this was really carefree. However, the lazy days had to come to an end. Before he woke up in the morning, his phone rang urgently. Qianfeng picked up the phone in a daze. "Hello. Green Dragon, are you awake yet? I'm afraid you won't be able to keep up with the intensity of the training when you come back." This voice instantly woke Qianfeng up. The string in his brain straightened, and he quickly sat up. "Ing Long, you can still recognize my voice. It seems that the rotten life has not completely corrupted you." It was hard to tell whether Ing Long's voice was joking or sarcastic, but it definitely made Qianfeng feel uncomfortable. "If you have something to say, just say it. I know you won't call me if you don't have something to say." Qianfeng stretched lazily. "Don't talk nonsense. Don't disturb my sleep. I know. It's not that you don't want to sleep in, but you don't have the chance. Hee. Are you jealous of me?" Ing Long's voice carried a hint of a smile. "Yes, I'm quite jealous of you. You can still sleep in after seeing the person all our brothers want to see. But you have to understand that I'm the captain of Dragon's Fury now. I order you to gather under the Dragon Fury team flag at 4:30 sharp this afternoon. Also inform Ing Long to come back together. No one is to be late, unless you don't want to work anymore." Hearing this, Qianfeng was completely energized. Yes, although Azure Dragon and Shadow Dragon would have small conflicts and quarrels on a daily basis, Azure Dragon was indeed a trustworthy and obedient warrior when it came to serious matters. He didn't ask why they were asked to go back, because he knew that it was his master, Wang Yi, who had asked him to stay in Hudong. Yinglong must also know this. Now that he was ordered to go back, Wang Yi must also know about it. A soldier's duty was to obey orders. He was the country's shadow warrior, so he understood this principle better. After hanging up the phone, Qianfeng quickly got up and calculated the time. They were going to leave in an hour, which was enough for them to return to the Dragon Fury team before 4:30. Without washing his face, Qianfeng quickly ran to inform Fan Shuanger that they were going to return to the team. The two of them finished their preparations in 5 minutes. They didn't inform Ruan Qingxuang in person. Instead, they left a note, telling Ruan Qingxuang that they had something to do and had to leave first. They didn't inform her in person because they didn't know how to answer if she asked. Chapter 216. On the carpet beside the bed, there were a few pieces of male and female clothing scattered messily. On the bed, between the silver sheets and the thin white blanket, 2 naked bodies were entangled together. Slender, snow-white thighs were sandwiched between Su Yun's well-defined calf and tibia muscles. Her long hair was scattered over Xia Lu's muscular chest. The 2 bodies were snuggled up to each other just like that. Although it was already past 9 in the morning, the 2 were still sleeping soundly. Her face was covered by her long hair, as she laid on top of Su Yun's body. It had been a long time since Su Yun's brain was invaded by so much alcohol. Yesterday, when he withdrew his inner qi and allowed the alcohol to wreak havoc in his body, he was already prepared to not be able to get up in the morning. The morning sun shone through the thick curtains, forcing Su Yun to open his eyelids. Following that, he saw the elegant and lovely ceiling lamp on Tangzhou's room. Su Yun turned his head slightly and saw Tangzhou's beautiful little face beside the bed. Su Yun looked at Tangzhou's delicate little earlobes and small waist. He couldn't help but look at the key points. The perfect half-arc in front of her chest was extremely lethal to men. The cleavage faintly displayed its charm. Tangzhou flipped over and her long hair fell, revealing a beautiful and delicate face. She was enough to make any man's imagination run wild. Under her slender eyebrows were a pair of beautiful eyes. Her tall and delicate nose and sexy lips were even more pitiful. Su Yun was stunned for a long time. It was like a dream. What the hell? What exactly happened yesterday? He was completely confused. After exhausting all his brain cells, Su Yun finally recalled that he had forced himself to drink to death yesterday. Yesterday, Su Yun had humiliated himself because he couldn't make a choice. He only wanted to get drunk and forget about it. If he did something when he was drunk, he could at least find an excuse for his drunken stupor. After all, the sober Su Yun really couldn't resist Tangzhou's delicate and boneless seduction. His lust had already been aroused by Tangzhou back at the Tang group. Now, Tangzhou threw herself into his arms as soon as he got home. If he was still as stiff as a block of wood, then Su Yun really should go to the hospital for a checkup. Su Yun really didn't know what happened after he drank too much. However, looking at the state of the clothes scattered all over the floor, it seemed that something really did happen between a man and a woman with Tangzhou. Tangzhou, who was sleeping soundly next to him, did not seem to realize that there was someone next to him. This made Su Yun a little confused. Some people said that drunken promiscuity was an excuse for men, because if you really drank too much and didn't know anything, it was impossible for you to think about those things between a man and a woman. The so-called promiscuity was just an excuse for men who didn't drink too much. Su Yun dared to guarantee that he definitely drank too much yesterday, but he really couldn't guarantee that he didn't do anything last night. This was because he saw Tangzhou's underwear hanging next to her pillow. If he didn't do anything, did Tangzhou have to take off her clothes? Tangzhou murmured. Looking at those tender and full red lips, Su Yun immediately had the urge to swallow them. Yesterday's passionate kiss made his heart itch even now when he thought about it. He really didn't expect Tangzhou to be so wonderful when she was asleep. Should he touch her to test the feeling? Su Yun swore that he didn't mean to think that way. It was really because this delicate and white jade-like face was right in front of him. Tangzhou also seemed to have been awakened by the smell of the sun. She unconsciously stretched out her white jade-like arm and spread open her slender fingers to push her messy long hair back, completely exposing her charming face to the air. Her eyes opened extremely tiredly. Although they were hazy with sleepiness, They were still mesmerizing. Their eyes met, and the air instantly froze. After Tang Jiu reacted, she quickly pulled the blanket to her chest and said angrily, "What are you looking at? If I wanted to look, I would have opened it long ago. I swear to God, I just woke up." Su Yun stretched out 3 fingers and swore, then looked at Tang Jiu blankly. "After I got drunk yesterday, what did you do to me?" Su Yun asked as he felt his naked body under the blanket. Although he knew that sleeping naked was healthy and advocated sleeping naked, after drinking so much, he shouldn't have the consciousness to take off his clothes. "I just helped you take a bath. You'd better not think so much. Nothing happened between us." Even though Tang Jiu was determined to give his body to Su Yun yesterday, it was only because he was under the influence of alcohol. Now that he was completely sober, the foolish stubbornness from yesterday had completely dissipated. Seeing Tang Jiu's nervousness and agitation, Su Yun basically confirmed that nothing had happened. Although he didn't have a deep understanding of women, he could roughly understand. If Tang Jiu really did do something with him last night, she would definitely be lying in his arms like a little bird right now. Then, she would use that seductive voice of hers to call him a big bad guy, and would use her pink fists to beat his chest. Most movies and novels were like this. Once a woman gave herself to a man, she would definitely become a very obedient and lovable little bird. But Tang Jiu wasn't like that. Her reaction was still more aggressive. Obviously, Su Yun was sure that after drinking too much, he would become a useless piece of trash. Sai, think about it. If you can't even handle a woman lying beside you, what else can you do? If you're not a piece of trash, then what are you? Su Yun looked for clothes to wear as he said to Tang Jiu, "You really don't take me seriously. You really dare to take off your clothes while sleeping beside a big man. Aren't you afraid that I'll go berserk and directly punish you on the spot? You dare?" Tang Jiu stared and said, "Don't you know the benefits of sleeping naked? You even said that you know Chinese medicine. You don't even know such a simple principle." Su Yun shrugged his shoulders and said, "Then explain it to me." Sleeping naked is highly recommended in Japan. A Japanese expert who studied the problem of sleeping naked pointed out that there's a village in Hokkaido where all the residents have the habit of sleeping naked. Almost no one has insomnia. This is because sleeping naked can reduce the feeling of being tied up by clothes, freeing people from the feeling of being tied up for an entire day. It's good for improving the quality of sleep. Tang Jiu explained in a single breath. When the blood flow in the human body is unobstructed, it can reduce the coldness in the hands and feet. It's good for entering a deep sleep, allowing the person to feel unrestrained. It also allows the blood to circulate well, allowing the skin to breathe well, increasing the consumption of oil. Furthermore, it can also promote the metabolism and strengthen the secretion of the sebaceous glands and sweat glands. It's good for the excretion and regeneration of sebaceous. Su Yun waved his hand. "Stop, I'm not here to listen to you. Although you know a lot, I still want to tell you that you can't simply take off your underwear and go to bed to get all the benefits. The sleeping environment is very important." Tang Jiu was stunned. She didn't feel as relaxed when she slept yesterday. If the residence is too small, it's not suitable for living with a family or a group. That's because nervousness will cause the opposite effect. It's best to have a relatively hidden and independent environment. Su Yun smiled and continued. Furthermore, the living environment must be well ventilated and comfortable. You must pay attention to keeping yourself warm by adjusting the temperature and humidity in the room to prevent yourself from getting cold and sweating. If your skin is directly exposed to the environment, dust and mites will cause skin allergies. People with special constitutions won't be able to enjoy such conditions. Tang Jiu's mouth almost fell out of shock. She didn't expect there to be so many details. Su Yun stretched and said, "Why? Do you need me to help you put on your clothes? Hurry up and get up. You have a lot of things to deal with today. Since you said yesterday that you would take back the economic investment power from Tang Jinfeng and Tang Yifei, then you have to do what you said. First, take back the 100 million yuan you lent to Ma Tianyi, as well as the penalty and interest. Let them know that you, Tang Jiu, are not just empty words. Then get out." "I can't change my clothes in front of you, right? Do you think I'm so shameless like you? Tang Jiu was speechless. Just now, Su Yun directly put on his clothes in front of her. Although she didn't look directly at him, she was so embarrassed that her face turned red. She didn't expect that Su Yun, the person involved, would act as if nothing had happened. Su Yun snorted and said, I don't need to be so pretentious. Last night, whether it was what you should or shouldn't have seen, I'm afraid you saw everything. Why should I be shy and hide, right? It's not your big head. Who looked at you? Tang Jiu was almost driven mad by Su Yun. Why was this bastard's word so annoying? Su Yun didn't stay idle after being kicked out of the room by Tang Jiu. Now there wasn't even a servant in the Tang villa except for them. Because of Auntie Shue's matter, Tang Jiu didn't dare to trust anyone. Su Yun went to the kitchen to take a look. The food in the fridge was quite comprehensive, but most of them were ready-to-eat products. Pasta that could be eaten after being heated in the microwave, dumplings that could be eaten after being boiled in boiling water, etc. All of them were ready-to-eat products. Although there were some meat and eggs, Su Yun was sure that Tang Jiu didn't have the time to make them. That was because all he saw in the garbage bag were food packaging for ready-to-eat products. Thinking about how a girl had so many things to do every day and didn't even have time to eat, Su Yun really felt that Tang Jiu was very difficult. If it weren't for the Tang family's matter, he would have taken her to the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel to enjoy a few days. Forget it. Taking her to Hudong was not realistic at all. However, Su Yun could let her eat a few mouthfuls of hot food for a few days. Thinking of this, Su Yun didn't hesitate. He directly fried eggs, heated milk, fried pancakes and made sandwiches. By the time Tang Jiu finished washing up and came downstairs, the hot breakfast was already on the table. Tang Jiu instantly felt warm. Ever since her father went to Hudong and Auntie Shay passed away, this was the first hot breakfast she had eaten. Chapter 217. Su Yun smiled. Hurry up and eat. Even though you're the boss, you should try not to be late. That way, your subordinates will be more obedient. Listen to me. All the Tang family members who didn't come to work on time this morning will have a month's salary deducted. Ordinary employees will be fined 500 yuan. That way, people won't use this method to embarrass you. If you do this, I promise you'll save a lot of money today. Tang Jiu smiled bitterly and shook her head. She sat down and began to eat. She knew very well how many people would slack off today. Some departments might not even show up. Let's eat first. We'll talk about it when we get to the company. Su Yun picked up a piece of pancake. He didn't eat much at the party last night. Now he felt hungry. After breakfast, the two went out together. Even though Su Yun wanted to thank Sua Meiyan today, he still decided to accompany Tang Jiu to the Tang Corporation to check out the situation. Maybe the situation was better than they thought. If that was the case, he wouldn't have to worry too much. However, the situation could also be worse than they thought. They arrived at the Tang Corporation before 9 o'clock. Tang Jiu was relieved to see that all the receptionists had already started work. The greetings of President Tang also boosted her confidence. However, there was a good side as well as a bad side. Tang Jiu didn't go directly to her office. She chose to take the stairs to see how many people were in each department on each floor. Along the way, she was relieved to see most of them. She also personally informed the heads of each department that those who didn't show up would be fined 500 yuan. The foreign trade department that Tang Wanha and Tang Sun were in charge of was in order. It was as if nothing had happened in the Tang family. Among all the people in the Tang family, Tang Jiu was most assured of only 7th uncle Tang Wanha. He really was the kind of person who didn't have any ambition. Therefore, Tang Jingtian was assured to leave the foreign trade department to him. When Tang Jiu walked to the floor where the finance department of the Tang Corporation was located, she found that the entire floor was empty except for the reception secretary. The Finance and Financial Management Department was the department that Tang Jinfeng and Tang Yifei were in charge of. It seemed that since Tang Jiu stripped him of his power yesterday, they would teach Tang Jiu a lesson today. Not only did they not come to work, but all the employees in the entire department did not come. This department was the economic lifeline of the Tang conglomerate. There were too many accounts in it. Because Tang Jingtian had given up his authority, He didn't need to sign off on loans or investments that were less than 500 million yuan. Although Tang Jio was clear about the large amounts, there were too many small amounts to count. Ignoring them was definitely not a feasible solution. Although they were all small amounts, when added together, it would be a lot. This money must be recovered. Where are they? Tang Jio's face was ashen as he looked coldly at the secretary, who was in charge of receiving guests on this floor. The secretary looked aggrieved. I don't know either. After I came to the company this morning, I was the only one. Call them immediately and tell them that they don't have to come to work anymore. Suyin didn't wait for Tang Jio to speak before he spoke. Seeing Tang Jio's blank face, Suyin comforted her. Tang Jio, this world will turn around no matter who it is. You are the boss of the Tang Corporation. You must let your people know that no matter who leaves, it won't affect the normal operations of the Tang Corporation. Tang Jio took a deep breath. She understood what Suyin meant. If she was suppressed now, her future days would be even more difficult. Therefore, no matter what difficulties she faced now, she had to face them resolutely. If these people thought that they could stop her just because they didn't come, then they were gravely mistaken. Just as the reception secretary on this floor was confused, Tang Jio emphasized again. Inform the HR department immediately, and tell everyone in the Finance and Financial Management Department to come to the Finance Department today and settle their accounts. They will be kicked out of the Tang Corporation forever. Immediately post the recruitment notice. Hire a financial planner and investment consultant with a high salary. Hire a senior accountant with a high salary. I'll do it right away. Yes. The reception secretary on this floor immediately followed Tang Jio's instructions. The head of the HR department was Tang Huazhong and Tang Jinsheng. When they heard Tang Jio's order, they immediately understood that she was really going to do something big. It seemed that the seventh brother, Tang Wanhe, was right. From now on, they had to follow Tang Jio's orders. At least, they could ensure that their positions wouldn't be affected. Since this decision was made, Tang Jio directly broke in with Suyin. She had to settle all the investments and loans first. Only then would she have a better chance of getting rid of Tang Zhenfeng and Tang Yifei's control over the Finance and Financial Management Department. This can be sorted out by the financial planner and financial consultant. Now you have to prove to them that even if they aren't here, you can still get the money back, Suyin said. Only then will they completely compromise. Tang Jio nodded. Suyin's words made sense. She glanced at Suyin. Then let's start with Ma Tianyi from the Northern G Management Department. Suyin shrugged his shoulders. He didn't care who it was. He just needed to help Tang Jio get the money back. The rest was Tang Jio's problem. Find the proof and go now. The original investment, the penalty for breach of contract, and the interest, not a single cent less. I'll help you. Okay. Tang Jio nodded. Although it took her an hour to find the contract for Ma Tianyi's investment, it wasn't a waste of time. She finally found the place where the big contract was placed. In order to prevent Tang Yifei from destroying it, she immediately ordered people to change the lock. She also told the reception secretary not to let anyone in. Because the previous batch of people had all been kicked out, there was no reason for them to come in. Suyin drove Tang Jio to the Jibei Pipe Company, which was located in the southern suburbs of Jibei City. This company mainly produced PPR water supply pipes, PRT floor heating pipes, steel mesh skeleton polyethylene composite pipes, special pipes for gas drainage in the winding structure, and ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene pipes. It could be said that this was a large pipe company. Although Ma Tianyi was smart when it came to money, he still paid attention to reputation and quality when it came to running a company. Therefore, his pipes could be set up in many large and medium-sized cities across the country. Moreover, there were hundreds of big and small distributors. If he was given another 3 to 5 years, he definitely had the ability to set up a nationwide sales network, connecting the sales and service structure of the network. When that time came, he would really be able to expand Northern G Management Department. Now was still a time when he needed investment. As long as he persevered for 3 to 5 years, Northern G Management Department would definitely be able to develop and become famous throughout the country. Seeing such a good foundation, Suyin really couldn't bear to ruin it. If he really let Ma Tianyi fork out 160 million, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to do it. Perhaps this was a good opportunity. Su Yun, what do you think of this factory? At this time, Tang Jiu was probably thinking the same thing as Su Yun. She had never been to Northern G Management Department before. Today, after seeing it, she felt that this was a good project. She didn't expect Tang Yifei to have such a good eye for investment. No wonder he dared to lend out hundreds of millions of yuan so casually. Su Yun smiled slightly. The meaning of his smile was self-evident. This is a good opportunity to get it. While they were talking, Su Yun had already parked the car in front of the Northern G Management Department's office building. Tang Jiu decisively took the documents and got out of the car. The two of them walked into the office building without hesitation. It seemed that they were filled with a strong desire to own this company. Hey, who are you looking for? What are you doing here? A tall and burly man stepped forward and blocked their way. I am Tang Jiu from Tang Group. Today, I am here to look for your boss. Tang Jiu said bluntly. Where is Ma Tianyi? When the person heard that they were from the Tang family, he had a special expression on his face. It could be said that he was afraid, but it could also be said that he was sneering. In any case, Su Yun felt that something was not right. However, since they were already here, they definitely had to take something away. It was impossible for them to go back now. Upstairs. Please help yourselves. The person pointed at the stairs. Boss Ma is in the office. If you need anything, you can go up directly. Tang Jiu did not pay any attention to this burly receptionist. Compared to the beautiful receptionists at the front desk of her Tang Corporation, this man was too lousy. However, Su Yun was very clear that this was definitely not the receptionist of Northern G Management Department. He must have been selected at the last minute. This burly man looked like a hired thug. Which company would use such a person as a receptionist? It was obvious that the company wanted to close down. Although Su Yun saw that something was wrong, he still followed Tang Jiu up to the second floor. Ma Tianyi's office was on the second floor. It was a very large single room. When Su Yun and Tang Jiu walked in, the door was not closed. Ma Tianyi was sitting at his desk alone. It seemed that he had already prepared for them to come here. Oh, Boss Tang is here. Welcome. Ma Tianyi stood up. Although he should have already prepared for Tang Jiu to come and collect the debt, he still pretended to be surprised. What wind blew you here? Tang Jiu did not have the time to chat with him. He went straight to the point. Ma Tianyi, did you not expect me to come and look for you today? My second brother must have reminded you, right? Don't put on a show here. I won't beat around the bush with you. The contract is here. Think about what you want to do with the money. Ma Tianyi's face turned pale. Ma Tianyi's face paled at Tang Jiu's words. He didn't look at the contract and smiled. Yes, Mr. Tang. I know that my verbal agreement with Tang Yifei is useless, but he did promise me that time. It's not that I don't want to pay him back, but as you can see, I've already spent the money on the new factory. You can't expect me to spit it out, right? That's your business. I don't care. Tang Jiu said. Today, I am here to ask for the money. If you don't give it to me, then don't blame me for being rude. Boss Tang, you can't be thinking that you can really get the money from me by bringing someone here, right? I know you are here to give me a hard time. Ma Tianyi said. Then let me tell you. The reason why I can stand firm in Jibei City is not just because of this factory. Chapter 218. Su Yun furrowed his brows. He had thought that Ma Tianyi would act shamelessly, but he didn't think that this guy would have the guts to play this trick. Perhaps he was forced into a corner, or perhaps he fell into Tang Yifei's trap and listened to his evil words. Chairman Ma, it's only right to pay your debts. If you do this, then you're in the wrong. Although Tang Jiu looked calm on the surface, she couldn't hide the fact that her heart was racing. She knew that she would have to face many more situations like this in the future. Ma Tianyi sighed. Chairman Tang, it's not that I want to act shamelessly, but I really don't have the money. If you think there's anything in this office that you like, just take it away. If there's nothing else, then I really can't do anything. As he spoke, he turned to the burly men and said, You guys have to listen to Chairman Tang's orders. Whatever Chairman Tang wants, you guys have to move it for her. Do you understand? Yes, sir. The men replied in unison. Looking at their burly bodies, if they really wanted to move, they could probably empty Ma Tiany's office in 2 or 3 trips. Ma Tiany smiled. Chairman Tang, I have something else to do, so I can't accompany you here. If you want to walk around the factory, I can arrange for my secretary to show you around. I really can't help you with anything else. Seeing that Ma Tiany was about to leave, Tang Jiu was at her wit's end. She didn't have the experience to deal with such shameless people. If she let Ma Tiany leave today, then she wouldn't be able to gain anything every time she came. Stop right there, Su Yun said with a smile. He had accompanied Tang Jiu here to prevent such a situation from happening. Of course, a little girl like her would be at a loss. However, he had seen such situations many times before, so he was used to it. Ma Tiany's expression changed. He turned to look at Su Yun and said with a mocking tone, I was wondering who it was. I almost didn't recognize you just now. So you're the mistress of Zhang Taisui's Zweiking? Kid, I've already given you face, but don't force me into a dead end. Don't think that just because you're close to Zhu Yeqing, you can do whatever you want in Jibei City. Today's matter is between me and the Tang family. As an outsider, you have no right to interfere. If Zweiking knows that you stand up for another woman, I'm afraid she won't help you. Without another word, Su Yun suddenly slapped Ma Tiany's face with a resounding slap. This slap had caught Ma Tiany off guard. It didn't give Ma Tiany any time to react. Not to mention Ma Tiany's subordinates, even Tang Jiu didn't expect Su Yun to make a move now. Ma Tiany was slapped so hard that his entire body spun 360 degrees. If it weren't for the few burly men holding him up, he would have knelt on the ground. Su Yun waved his hand. He slapped Ma Tiany not because he didn't pay back the money he owed, but because his mouth was too dirty and his words were too unpleasant. Su Yun was in a bad mood, so he didn't hesitate to make a move. Chairman Ma, you can't be too cheap with your mouth. If you continue to spout nonsense, I promise that I won't let Zhou Meiyan know that you're farting behind her back. I'll send you straight to hell to meet Zhang Taisui. Ma Tiany's face was swollen from the slap. He pointed at Su Yun with a face full of anger and shock, but he didn't scold him. In the end, he poured his anger on the group of burly men beside him. What are you all standing there for? Didn't you see anyone hit me? After hearing this order, the group of men suddenly came back to their senses. They cast their fierce and cruel gazes on Su Yun. Tang Jiu knew Su Yun's skills, so she wasn't worried that Su Yun would be at a disadvantage. She just didn't expect that they would start fighting so quickly. If she couldn't get the money back with her own ability, did she have to bring Su Yun along to make a scene every time she went to collect debts? That was obviously not a good idea. Seeing the 6 burly men surrounding him, Su Yun warned in a low voice, if you don't want to be unable to find a wife in the future, then you'd better stop now. However, Su Yun's warning clearly didn't enter the eyes of these burly men. Suddenly, one of them roared and raised his hands to hit Su Yun's shoulder. It looked like he wanted to grab Su Yun and tear him apart. Just as this person made his move, Su Yun's figure dodged like a ghost. Then, with a sneaky kick, he ruthlessly hooked the center of this person's crotch. Before he could cry out in pain, Su Yun used the same footwork and gave each of the 6 men a kick. Although this footwork was simple, its lethality was terrifying. In just one move, the 6 burly men were all holding their crotches and kneeling on the ground. Their faces were all red. Thinking about it carefully, what could be more unbearable than having one's balls broken and one's chrysanthemum exploding? Su Yun shrugged. I warned you, but you didn't listen. Su Yun, you better not be too arrogant. Ma Tiany suddenly shouted outside the door. Woozy, if you don't come in, your brother is going to be killed. Su Yun didn't waste any more time on Ma Tiany. He followed the voice and looked at the door in the opposite direction. A burly man who was at least 9 meters tall strode into Ma Tiany's office with a shotgun in his hand. Without saying a word, he loaded the shotgun and aimed it at Su Yun's head. He even cursed loudly. I'll see who the F***ck dares to touch my brother, Ma. Try and see if I dare to shoot you. Tang Jiu's mind buzzed when she saw this. This person came in too suddenly, and the thing in his hand was too terrifying. Although she had been pointed at by Xiongzi on the way back to Ji-Bei that day, she knew that the people in her family usually use guns to scare people. However, she did not know the other party now. Who knew if he was the kind of person who had a screw loose? Moreover, the gun was already loaded. If it went off accidentally, the bullet did not have eyes. No matter how powerful Su Yun was, he was still made of flesh. If he was shot, his entire head would explode. Once the bullet was loaded, even if there was a 1 in a million chance, there was still a chance of it going off accidentally. This was especially true for a shotgun that wasn't manufactured by a standard military factory. If it went off accidentally, he would definitely die at such a close distance. Su Yun understood this simple logic. Su Yun dared to talk and laugh when Xiongzi pointed the rifle at his chin because he knew that Xiongzi didn't turn on the safety. However, when faced with such a loaded shotgun, Su Yun didn't say anything. He suddenly hit the man's armpit directly. His body tilted, and he directly chopped the man's wrist with his hand. The man's hand loosened, and the entire shotgun fell directly to the ground. Then Su Yun kicked the 1.9-meter-tall man away. He took the opportunity to hook the shotgun directly into his hand with the tip of his foot. When the 1.9-meter-tall man was about to rush forward while cursing, Su Yun had already picked up the 3-shot shotgun. Without saying anything, he aimed at the man's right thigh and pulled the trigger. Bang! The bullet shot out and heavily penetrated the man's right thigh. The 1.9-meter-tall man directly knelt on the ground. Su Yun's entire movement was smooth. He was well trained. There was no hesitation at all. Just now, when the man played with the gun in front of Su Yun, it was simply like playing with a knife in front of Guan Yu. He was looking for trouble. This shot scared Ma Tianyi. He hid this gun in the factory solely to deal with those who came looking for trouble. Over time, when he became a big shot, no one dared to look for trouble. Therefore, this gun had never been fired from the beginning. He didn't expect that today, when he let Wuzi bring it to scare people, the first shot would hurt his own people. Ah! Murder! Ah! Brother Ma, I've been shot! Save me! The man kneeling on the ground touched the blood on his thigh. There was only one word in his mind: fear. There was no one who wasn't afraid of death. Seeing that Su Yun really dared to shoot, the 6 burly men who wanted to attack Su Yun also softened. They didn't expect that the other party, a young man, would be so cruel and merciless. Tang Jiu reached out and covered his mouth. He looked at Su Yun in shock. Shooting people was against the law. If this blew up, it would be troublesome. Su Yun didn't say anything. He directly pointed the gun at Ma Tianyi. Ma Tianyi's legs trembled. He quickly moved sideways to avoid the dark hole of the gun. This wasn't a joke. 3 shots in a row. This gun isn't very good. It's fine if it's not accurate, but it hasn't been used before, right? This kind of hunting gun is the easiest to misfire. Boss Ma, don't you think so? Su Yun looked at Ma Tianyi with a smile. The hunting gun in his hand followed Ma Tianyi's dodge. The muzzle of the gun never left Ma Tianyi's eyes. Ma Tianyi really admitted defeat this time. Brother, big brother. You're my brother. Let's talk nicely. Can you put this thing down first? If it really misfires, then I'll really die. When you asked people to point this thing at me, why didn't you think that it would misfire? Su Yun sneered. Boss Ma, if you can return the money today, then I definitely won't kill you. Because if I kill you, the Tang family will lose more than 100 million. It's not worth it. But if you don't have the money, then it's not certain. Anyway, the Tang family can't get the money back. There's no point in keeping you. You can only be angry. Don't you think so? Ma Tianyi hurriedly said. I only need this money for 1 year. Just 1 year. I'm now producing polyethylene-coated composite pipes and steel belt-reinforced polyethylene spiral corrugated pipes. As long as these projects are completed, I'll be able to get back my investment quickly. 100 million is easy. By then, I'll return 200 million. 200 million is enough. Chapter 219. Tang Jiu knew what Su Yun meant. He didn't just want the money. Su Yun was interested in the same thing as her. He was interested in the development potential of Jibei management. Looking at Suyun's smile, Tang Jiu recovered from his shock and calmed down. He said indifferently, "What I hate the most is waiting. I can't wait for a year, and tens of millions are not attractive to me. So, Chairman Ma, I want to take back the 160 million that belongs to Tang Corporation today." Ma Tianyi was trembling with anger. Where was he going to get more than 100 million now? It was impossible and unrealistic. He still had a lot of debt in the bank. If it weren't for the huge bank loan, he wouldn't have been able to borrow 100 million from Tang Corporation. "Chairman Tang, I really don't have the money today. You can't force me into a dead end, right?" Ma Tianyi really couldn't take it out. He could only try to negotiate with Tang Jiu. As long as Suyun didn't do anything, he wasn't afraid to sit down with Tang Jiu and have a good talk. Tang Jiu also saw that Ma Tianyi wasn't afraid of her. She looked at Suyun and said, "If Chairman Ma can't take it out today, then I don't want it. Suyun, I'll leave the rest to you." Suyun was too lazy to explain anything to Ma Tianyi. He directly raised the shotgun in his hand, aimed at Ma Tianyi's head, and pulled the trigger. Everything was done in front of Ma Tianyi. Ma Tianyi's mind went blank. The bang of the gunshot almost deafened his eardrums. When he reacted, he only felt a burning pain in his ear and something sticky and warm flowing down his neck. "Ah, no, don't." Ma Tianyi reached out his trembling hand to touch the left ear that was shot off by the bullet. The Suyun in front of him instantly turned into an Azura demon from hell standing in front of him. After Suyun fired the shot, he frowned slightly and looked at the crosshairs on the shotgun again. He muttered to himself, "I said that the crosshairs of this gun are not accurate. Previously, I wanted to end that guy's lineage, but I didn't expect to hit his thigh. This time, I shot his head but it slanted to his ear. It's really annoying. But this way, if I aim at your right ear, I might be able to hit your forehead, right?" Ma Tianyi knelt down. Looking at Suyun's posture, he really wanted to kill him with one shot. He always knew that the Tang family was powerful, but he didn't know that the 9th daughter of the Tang family was so ruthless. She wanted to kill him when she couldn't get the money. This was the first time she was so ruthless. "Miss Tang, I was wrong. You can do whatever you want. I really don't have that much money right now. I beg you, please give me a few days. I'll definitely find a way to return the money to you. Even if I have to sell the factory, I'll definitely return the money to you." Ma Tianyi was really scared. It was a simple choice between asking for his life and asking for his money. He chose the right answer without hesitation. As long as he was alive, he would have a chance to make a comeback. If he lost his life, then there was no need to talk about money. Selling the factory is a good idea. But Chairman Ma, have you thought about how many people can take out so much money to buy it? Tang Jiu smiled and took out the contract he signed when he made the investment loan. "Boss Ma, there is a mortgage clause in the contract. If you can't pay me back, you can use the factory as a mortgage. It's written clearly in black and white. Although I don't like your company, since you want to sell it, you can change your name. I can't wait until you sell it and pay me back." Ma Tianyi was dumbfounded. "Miss Tang, although Jibei management can't compare to the Tang Family Corporation, it's still worth a few $100 million. If you want me to mortgage it, then you might as well take my life." When Suyun heard this, he immediately pointed his gun at him. "As you wish." No. Seeing Suyun aiming at his right ear, Ma Tianyi quickly waved his hand. "I was wrong, brother. I was wrong. Mortgage it to the Tang Family Corporation. I'll listen to Chairman Tang. I'll do whatever Chairman Tang says. I won't dare to resist. How about this? I'll give 40% of the shares to the Tang Family Corporation. This is definitely worth more than 160 million. Tang Jiu shrugged. "I'm sorry, Chairman Ma. I want the entire company, not your 40%. That way, I won't even have the right to speak. I might as well not take it." Ma Tianyi really wanted to die right now. "Now I only have one thing to say. Either you hand over the real Jibei management to me, or I'll hand you over to Suyun." Tang Jiu looked at Ma Tianyi coldly. "Chairman Ma, to be honest, the Tang Family Corporation really doesn't care about 100 million or 200 million. Since I dared to do this to you, I can guarantee that I can get away with everything. Ma Tianyi's face turned pale, but he still felt that Tang Jiu wouldn't dare to kill him in front of so many people. After all, there were too many witnesses. Su Yun seemed to have seen through Ma Tianyi's thoughts. He picked up the tablecloth from Ma Tianyi's desk and wiped the body of the gun. Wipe the fingerprints clean. It's easy to make a suicide scene. Chairman Ma, you don't think that your subordinates will still be so obedient after you die, do you? I can guarantee that you only need to give each of them $1 million to testify. You wanted to kill this big guy, but you shot him in the leg and killed yourself out of fear. Moreover, your first shot was off and you even shot your own ear. Hee. What do you think of me as a director? Ma Tianyi really wanted to scold Tang Jiu for being too sinister, but after seeing the gun, he didn't dare to say anything. Chairman Ma, I'll give you 10 seconds. After Tang Jiu finished speaking, he threw out another contract. You just need to sign this, and Jibei management will belong to the Tang Group. Haha, let me tell you first, this contract was prepared by Tang Yifei a long time ago. He kept asking you to borrow money just to set a trap for you. Even if I didn't come to you today to get this factory, sooner or later, Tang Yifei would have done the same thing. When he first lent you the money, he already had a plan to wait for you to develop Jibei management and take it as your own. Seeing the contract for the transfer of ownership of Jibei management, Ma Tianyi suddenly realized that he was just a pawn of Tang Yifei. He treated Tang Yifei as a brother, but Tang Yifei played him like a monkey. 10. Su Yun had already started the countdown. 987. I'll sign it. Ma Tianyi gritted his teeth. Today's situation was completely his own fault. He had trusted that bastard Tang Yifei too much. If it weren't for Tang Yifei, he wouldn't have fallen out with the Tang Family Corporation to this extent. He picked up the pen, trembling as he signed his name and pressed his thumbprint on the transfer rights contract. Su Yun smiled and removed the bullet from the gun. He threw the shotgun to the ground. Chairman Ma, Jibei management is your blood, sweat and tears. We all know this. If you're interested, you can apply for the position of the general manager of Jibei management. Maybe Chairman Tang will agree. Ma Tianyi was slightly stunned. He raised his head to look at Su Yun and then at Tang Jiu. He didn't know what they meant. Tang Jiu smiled. Ma Tianyi, from today onwards, Jibei management will be a subsidiary of the Tang Family Corporation. If you're interested in working for the Tang Family Corporation, I can give you a good salary and let you continue to be in charge of the management and development of Jibei management. Of course, everything that needs money in the future will be paid by the Tang Family Corporation, including your salary. Thank you, Chairman Tang. I'm willing to. Ma Tianyi didn't feel good when he said this. No matter what, this company was still his. But now, although he was still the boss here, Jibei management would always have the words Tang Family Corporation in front of it. Now Ma Tianyi really suspected that the other subsidiary companies of the Tang Family Corporation had been obtained in this way. Su Yun picked up the transfer agreement signed by Ma Tianyi on the table and looked at it before handing it to Tang Jiu. Tang Jiu knew that there was no problem, so he put away the documents and stood up. Chairman Ma, I'll leave the rest to others. You can report to the Human Resources Department in the building this afternoon. I'll give you a reasonable salary. If you think it's suitable, you can officially start work tomorrow. Haha, the office will still be here. Thank you, Chairman Tang. Ma Tianyi really could only thank him now. After all, Tang Jiu didn't kill him and still gave him a way out. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first, Tang Jiu said lightly. Su Yun immediately led the way and left. Looking at the backs of the two people leaving, Ma Tianyi lay paralyzed on his desk. That kind of disheartened feeling was like a thick black cloud pressing down on his heart. He wanted to cry but had no tears. Although he was still in charge of the business in Northern Ji and his job would not change, he had changed from being the boss of his own company to a high-ranking employee who worked for someone else. Big Woozy, who was shot in the thigh by Su Yun, was no longer in pain. He even comforted him. Brother Ma, the factory was originally invested in by the Tang Family Corporation. Now even if it really becomes the Tang Family Corporation's, it's not a big deal. You can still be the boss here. This isn't a bad thing. You don't have to worry about money in the future. What do you know? Ma Tianyi was speechless. This place used to be Ma, but now it's Tang. Wait, Wuzi, didn't you say you were going to die just now? You're fine now? You can still stand up? Yes. I was in pain just now. Now that I look at it, it's just a graze on the muscle of my leg. Other than bleeding a little, it's not a big deal. Wuzi was also surprised. Brother Ma, actually your ear is just a graze. Chapter 220. Tang Jiu heaved a sigh of relief as soon as the car drove out of Jibei. If it wasn't for the fact that the aim of the gun was off, were you really going to let Ma Tianyi meet the king of hell today? Suyin shook his head and smiled. Of course not. I'm not a lunatic, nor am I a Texas murderer. I was just scaring them. What else do you think I could have done to make him sign his name on the transfer agreement? This is the fruit of his many years of hard work. If it weren't for the fact that his life was in danger, I'm sure he would have borrowed money from other loan sharks rather than sign his name on the transfer agreement. Are you that confident in your marksmanship? Tang Jiu looked at Suyin in surprise. This man was becoming more and more mysterious. Handguns, assault rifles, machine guns, shotguns. I don't think there's anything I don't know how to play with, Suyin said confidently as he drove. It's a single-barreled shotgun with 3 shots. At such a close distance, if I can't even aim properly, wouldn't I be wasting my time? Tang Jiu was even more impressed. This guy was truly a mysterious person. Where are we going now? I'll send you back to the company. I believe you can handle the rest. I don't know much about the Tang Corporation, so I'm afraid I won't be of much help. I'm going to deal with some personal matters. President Tang, please allow me to take a leave of absence, Suyin joked. Tang Jiu didn't say anything. After a moment of silence, he said, Are you going to Sky Entertainment to meet the white-lipped bamboo Yeqing? Suyin didn't deny it. Smart. As expected of the 9th daughter of the Tang family. Favors are reciprocal. This matter is related to me, so of course I have to do something. It's necessary for me to pay her a visit and thank her. Tang Jiu nodded. She's doing this for your sake. She's helping you, not the Tang Corporation. You should go. Aha. Suyin laughed dryly. He could tell that Tang Jiu was still unhappy with Sui Meiyan. From the start, he didn't want her to go with him. He didn't want the two of them to have bad chemistry. Who knows, it might even hurt him. When they arrived at the entrance of the Tang Corporation building, Tang Jiu got out of the car. Her confidence would increase after every successful task. Even when she saw the staff from the finance and investment department standing in front of the building, she did not feel at all at a loss as to how to face them. Suyin believed that Sui Meiyan could handle the situation well. Moreover, he saw a familiar figure on the right side of the entrance of the Tang group, so he didn't stop and drove away. That familiar figure made Suyin marvel at Sui Meiyan's meticulous care. He really should thank her now. The group of employees who had received the termination call early in the morning immediately surrounded Tang Jiu like crazy when they saw him. They begged, Mr. Tang, I really have a special situation at home today. I beg you, please make an exception for me. Mr. Tang, please don't make me leave the Tang Corporation. On account of all the hard work I've done for Tang Corp, please give me a chance. I was wrong, Mr. Tang. I really know that I was wrong. I will never be late for work for no reason again. I'll accept it no matter how heavy the punishment is. But I beg you, please don't fire me. I'm the only one supporting my entire family. I beg you. After receiving Tang Yifei's order to not come to work yesterday, this group of employees from the finance and investment department had been sleeping comfortably at home early in the morning. No one expected to receive a call from the Human Resources Department saying that Mr. Tang was furious because no one came to work in the Finance and Investment Department. He was going to fire all of them, and they could leave with the rest of their salary. When they heard the news, no one wanted to sleep anymore. The Tang Corporation in Jibei City wasn't a place where anyone could come and work as they wished. Working there was harder than taking the civil service exam. Not to mention the other middle management. Just the employees in the Finance and Investment Department had an annual salary of at least 480,000 yuan. This number was definitely not a small number even in big cities like Yanjing and Xinjiang. There's nothing to talk about. All of you leave immediately. I've already sent out the new recruitment notice. Don't think that the Tang Corporation can't move without you guys. Tangjio said coldly. Tangjio said coldly. She wouldn't leave any hidden dangers behind for Tang Yifei's lackeys. Suddenly, one of them flew into a rage. Mr. Tang, if you're heartless, don't blame us for being unjust. If you don't give us a way out today, I'll fight it out with you. As he spoke, the person pounced on Tangjio. It looked like he was going to fight to the death with Tangjio. Tangjio was shocked. She didn't expect this person to make such a shocking move. In the blink of an eye, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Tangjio. A whip kick landed on the person's waist and sent him flying more than 10 meters away. What a strong kick. The person sprawled on the ground and didn't dare to move anymore. He didn't know how many bones in his body were broken. The pain was unbearable. Miss Tangjio, Sister Meiyan asked me to work as a security guard in the Tang Corporation. She asked me to report to you. I've been waiting for you here. Wang Zhe said seriously as he looked at Tangjio. Tangjio's jaw dropped. She didn't expect Sua Meiyan to put on such a show. Wang Zhe stood behind Tangjio, looking coldly at the group of people who wanted to shed all pretense of cordiality with Tangjio, and said harshly, "Whoever else wants to hurt Miss Tangjio, you better weigh your own worth first. If you force me to make a move, it won't be as simple as breaking a few bones." "Thank you." Tangjio glanced at Wang Zhe. "However, I don't need it. I have security here. Please go back and tell Miss Sua that I appreciate her kindness. However, I can handle the Tang family's matters. She doesn't need to worry." Wang Zhe didn't leave. Sua Meiyan had told him before he came that Tangjio would definitely reject him. However, she asked him to stay at the Tang Corporation. Only then could Su Yin relax and chat with her for a while. "Miss Tangjio, don't worry. I won't disturb your work," Wang Zhe said and quietly hid behind Tangjio. Tangjio knew that he wouldn't listen to her. However, he had just helped her. She couldn't be too rude to him. Since that was the case, she could only pretend that she didn't see anything. Tangjio strode into the Tang Corporation with Wang Zhe following behind him at a distance. The people who were about to cause trouble were all stunned by Wang Zhe's kick. No one dared to come forward and cause trouble. The Sky Entertainment Corporation was a landmark in Jiangbei Province. Therefore, it was easy to find in Jibei City. It was only a few miles away from the Tang Corporation building. Su Yin quickly arrived at his destination. At first, he wasn't sure if Sua Meiyan was there. However, when he saw Wang Zhe standing guard in front of the Tang Corporation building, Su Yin was 100% sure that Sua Meiyan was waiting for him there. The real reason why Sua Meiyan wanted Wang Zhe to protect Tangjio was to give her and Su Yin more time together. Su Yin could figure out such a simple reason, even if he used his toes to think. The Sky Entertainment Corporation was indeed impressive. Although it wasn't the tallest building in Jibei City, it was probably the most luxurious. The outer wall was made of marble and glass curtain wall. 2 huge copper lions were majestic, and there was a kind of style in it. This was a building designed by Zhang Taisui. So Su Yin was no stranger to this building. Su Yin always drove Tangjio's Shangku when he went out. Therefore, this small sports car, which didn't even cost 500,000 yuan, was completely out of place in front of the Sky Entertainment Corporation building. The security guard couldn't help but frown. The security guards of the Sky Entertainment Corporation were definitely different from those of other places. Both Zhang Taisui and Sua Meiyan liked to use their own people. Therefore, none of the more than 100 security guards were from a security company. They were all personally recruited by the company. There were many retired soldiers and armed police in the team. After all, a salary of 300,000 yuan was enough to attract them. Sky Entertainment Corporation probably wouldn't hire those who weren't capable. As soon as Su Yin got out of the car, one of the 2 security guards at the entrance walked up to him and said rudely, "Sorry, parking is not allowed here. There's so much space in front of the entrance. It's okay to park here. Even if other cars come, it won't be a problem. The main thing is that there's no space for parking." Su Yin had always been this straightforward. The security guards of the Sky Entertainment Corporation were really used to big scenes. They could even easily tell the status of a person in front of the boss, just by looking at the car's price. Even celebrities who drove luxury cars worth over 2 million yuan to the Sky Entertainment Corporation didn't dare to cause trouble in front of the building, let alone a shangku. You can park on the side of the road outside. Other than the boss and VIP guests, no one is allowed to park here. The security guard didn't give Su-Yun any face. Please cooperate, otherwise. What else do you want? Su-Yun originally wanted to cooperate, but he couldn't stand being threatened and provoked. Hearing the security guard's unfriendly tone, Su-Yun felt uncomfortable. I'm telling you, I'm the VIP here. The security guard's expression changed. It seemed that Su-Yun's words had completely angered him. He coldly said to Su-Yun, I'm warning you one last time. The Sky Entertainment Corporation is not a place where you can cause trouble. Get out of here right now. Damn, even the security guards are so arrogant. I really have to hand it to them. Su-Yun helplessly shook his head and said to himself, Zuo-Meiyan, you're really arrogant. Otherwise, you wouldn't have influenced your security guards to be so arrogant. Chapter 221. Su-Yun was in a daze. He had long forgotten that there was a security guard next to him. His mind was now full of thinking about how to get an autographed underwear from Ling Jiling. If the real thing was sent to the old man, then he wouldn't feel guilty. After all, Su-Yun wanted to get an imitation from Ling Jiling, but he didn't get one. Sister Jiling, I'm your otaku fan. Can you sign it for me? Su-Yun said as he leaned forward. Ling Jiling's brows furrowed slightly. Anyone would feel that something was wrong when a strange man suddenly approached her. At this time, the security guard saw that Su-Yun was up to no good. He stepped forward and grabbed Su-Yun's shoulder. He wanted to use the simplest of martial arts to throw Su-Yun to the ground. This was a good opportunity to show off his strength in front of a superstar. Of course, this competent security guard wouldn't miss it. But when he grabbed Su-Yun's shoulder, he regretted it. Not only did he fail to stop Su-Yun from moving forward, but his body was also dragged forward. Su-Yun had always been merciless to those who attacked him. He grabbed the security guard's right hand that was on his left shoulder, bent and stretched, and squatted down. He easily performed a shoulder throw, and even dislocated the joint of the security guard's arm. Clang! The security guard's huge body fell heavily in front of the Maserati. Everyone present was stunned by Su-Yun's one move. Another security guard quickly pressed the alarm on his waist, and moved in front of Ling Jiling to defend. In less than 10 seconds, 30 to 40 security guards wearing the same special service uniform rushed to the main entrance and surrounded Su-Yun. Their reaction was fast and fierce. At first glance, it was obvious that they had undergone special training. Su-Yun smiled. This was Zhang Taisui's style. He wanted people with strong mobility and discipline. When these people worked together, their fighting power would be twice as strong as usual. Clang! The sound of the batons striking in unison made the scene tense up instantly. Knitting his brows, Su-Yun helplessly replied, There's no need to make such a big scene. I'm just stopping my car and asking for an autograph from Sister Jiling. Is there a need for this? Go. The security captain ignored Su-Yun's words and waved his hand. More than 30 people were about to attack Su-Yun. Just as Su-Yun was about to retaliate, a smartly dressed woman walked out of the Sky Entertainment Group. Wait! More than 30 security guards stopped and looked at the very capable woman in professional attire. Their expressions were more serious than the other, and they absolutely had no intention of disobeying the woman's orders. Go do what you need to do. This is Chief Zuo's esteemed guest. That woman had a strong aura. If she didn't have such an aura, it would be difficult for her to work beside Zuo-Meiyan. Su-Yun smiled. Sister Feng, thank goodness you appeared in time. Otherwise, I really wouldn't know what to do. Feng Ying was also a woman in her 30s. Just like Zuo-Meiyan, no one would believe that she was a 13-year-old just by looking at her appearance and skin. Perhaps only this kind of aura could let people distinguish the difference between her and a young girl. This female secretary had been by Zhang Taisui's side since she was 18 years old. She had been at Sky Entertainment for 12 years. Even after Zhang Taisui left, She still did her best to support Zhuo Meiyan, who Zhang Taisui valued the most. Long time no see. Feng Ying smiled at Su Yun, and even ignored Ling Jiling. Hello, Secretary Feng. Ling Jiling said lightly. She knew this woman's status in Sky Entertainment, so she was very polite. Feng Ying then turned around and looked at Ling Jiling. Miss Ling, President Zhua has a last-minute meeting. She asked me to tell you to wait for her in her office. If there's anything, wait until she's done with the meeting. Okay, thank you, Secretary Feng. Ling Jiling smiled and handed the car keys to the uninjured security guard. Sorry to trouble you. Su Yun was surprised. Sister Feng, she's in a meeting? I wanted to talk to her about something. Since it's like this, I'll go back first. She's always been swift and decisive in her work. You know that as well. Come upstairs with me and wait for her in her office. Feng Ying said lightly. She knew Su Yun very well. After all, he was Zhang Taisui's godson. She was no stranger to him. She didn't bother with formalities and only treated Su Yun as a little brother. Su Yun thought about it. Since they were already here, it wouldn't be appropriate to leave. Okay, then I'll do as you say. I'll listen to Sister Feng. Seeing that Su Yun was going upstairs with Feng Ying and Ling Jiling, the security guard leader was surprised. He said to Feng Ying, Secretary Feng, this car, won't it affect? He can leave it wherever he wants. Boss won't mind. Feng Ying turned around and said, take the injured to the hospital. Let me know if there's anything else. Su Yun said casually, it's just a dislocated shoulder. It's not a big deal. After that, he strode into Sky Entertainment. Where did this young man come from? More than 30 security guards were completely stunned by him. Putting aside the fact that he had killed Tiger Meng, the class monitor of their security team, in one move, the fact that he could talk and laugh in front of Secretary Feng meant that he was definitely not an ordinary person. They couldn't understand why he could park his car in front of the main entrance. Ling Jiling was also slightly surprised. She was considered one of the higher status artists in Sky Entertainment. Zhang Taisui had single-handedly brought her up, so Zhuo Meiyan treated her differently from other artists. Even so, she didn't dare to park her car in front of the main entrance. Every time, she would ask the security guard to drive her car somewhere else. But this guy could do it so openly. Secretary Feng even said that Boss Wu wouldn't mind. What kind of god was he? Sister Ling Jiling, haha, I haven't finished what I wanted to say. I'm your fan. Why don't you give me an autograph? Su Yun's words completely dispelled all of Ling Jiling's suspicions. If he really was a god, why would he ask for an autograph from a small artist like her? Although celebrities seemed to have limitless glory on the surface, they were the only ones who knew the truth. In front of these big shots, artists were just entertainers. They could sing, dance, and act in shows for money. Only ordinary people would think that those big stars were so glamorous. Even if these big stars lived in luxurious houses and drove luxury cars, they still had to bow and scrape in front of these big shots in the entertainment industry. These big shots could make them famous with a single word, but they could also shut them out with a single word. The entertainment industry was just a game that people with power could casually control. Su Yun, if you have anything to say it in Boss Wu's office. There are so many people looking at you. Feng Ying's tone was still calm. Don't make yourself sound like a follower. Su Yun scratched his head and smiled. He had no choice. If he wanted to get an autographed underwear for the old man, he had to get close to Sister Ling Jiling and build a good relationship. Otherwise, if he directly asked for it later, it would be so awkward. She might even think that he was a pervert. But thinking about it, it was really awkward. If he wasn't a pervert, then what was? The three of them took the elevator and went straight to the top floor of Sky Entertainment Group. The entire top floor of the office building was opened. In Jibei City's business district, where every inch of land was worth gold, the rent for a normal office building was enough to give many small company owners a headache. Zhuo Meiyan, on the other hand, occupied the most prime location in Jibei City. She even renovated the entire floor into an office that belonged only to her. This office was as luxurious as it could get. The office area was definitely a 5-star class. There was a lounge and entertainment room, a video room, and even a gym and a sauna room. Zhou Meiyan could probably get a beauty salon here if she wanted to. She could even set up a swimming pool if she wanted to. Sky Entertainment Group wants to invest in the largest film and television base in Asia, so boss would discuss some things with a few people. If you need anything, feel free to tell Assistant Li. After arriving at the office, Feng Ying directly handed the two of them over to Li Sisi, Zhou Meiyan's assistant. Li Sisi smiled slightly. Please have a seat. What would you like to drink? Just a glass of water will be fine. Ling Jiling was somewhat restrained when she came here. Sitting in this office was more nerve-wracking than walking on a red carpet. Thank you. Su Yin pondered. What do you have to drink? In the past, old man Zhang liked to drink tea. Zhou Meiyan must have inherited it, right? What's the most expensive drink? Let me think. Give me a pot of Wui de Hong Pao. Hee, I'm sure you can drink the real thing here. Sister Jiling, there are only 6 first-generation de Hong Pao tea trees in existence. They are all protected by the country's first-class government. The annual production of tea leaves is less than 1 kilogram. Feng Ying smiled helplessly. Then she turned and left. This brat was still as impolite as ever. This put Li Sisi in a difficult position. Wui de Hong Pao was not a type of tea that could be bought casually. The annual production of such rare tea leaves was mostly sent to the central government to receive foreign presidents. The remaining portion was also handed over to the provincial government. Sky Entertainment had to pull many strings every year to get their hands on a small amount. Unless it was a very important guest, they would never use it to receive them. It must be known that 20 grams of this tea was auctioned off for a sky-high price of 180,000. Chapter 222. Su Yin saw that Li Sisi was a little hesitant, so he waved his hand in front of her face. Seeing that she was startled, he realized that she was distracted. Assistantly, can you make a pot? Right, 2 cups. Su Yin didn't forget that Ling Jiling was beside him. He smiled and said, Sister Jiling, tea is one of the natural drinks. It has a very good health effect. De Hong Pao tea has a lot of benefits for women. It can clear the heart and mind, wake up and get rid of troubles, clear the heat and detoxify, and strengthen the liver and lungs. Don't drink water. Ling Jiling was shocked. She didn't dare to ask for such treatment. She was an artist under Sky Entertainment, not a VIP. How could she dare to make such a request? No, I'll drink water. Water is fine. Li Sisi had met Ling Jiling more than once. She knew very well what to do at this time. Tea was fine, but it would be best if it was the best Westlake Longjing or Yunnan-pu. Su Yin didn't seem to notice Li Sisi's awkward expression. He kept saying to Ling Jiling, don't be like this. You're the goddess of us little otakus. How can a goddess drink plain water? It must be Wui de Hong Pao. Sir, I'm sorry. We have tea, but your request. I'm afraid I can't meet it. Li Sisi couldn't help but say, here we have Westlake Longjing, Dongting Bilyuakun, Huangshan Maofeng, Junshan Injin, Xinyang Maojian, Anshi Tiguanyan, Liuan Melon Slice. Stop, you don't have to continue. Su Yin made a pause gesture. I know you have a lot of tea here. If you continue, you'll be able to recite Jingxian Yongxi Huaqing, Taiping Hokue, Enshi Yulu, and Suzhou Jasmine. But didn't I say that I want Wui de Hong Pao? I dare say so because I'm sure you have it here. Seeing that Su Yun was so insistent, Li Sisi could only try to persuade him. Sir, if you really like Wui Rock tea, I can help you brew Tai Luohan or Four Seasons spring tea, but I really don't have de Hong Pao tea. The production of real Wui de Hong Pao tea every year is pitifully low. If you are someone who understands tea, you definitely know where we can get such a precious thing. There are definitely no real de Hong Pao of the 6 mother trees on the market. Su Yin frowned. Who are you trying to fool? It's because I drank it here that I'm sure it's real. Otherwise, why would I spout nonsense? Li Sisi's eyes widened. She had never seen anyone receive such a high-class treatment here. She had heard that Zhang Taisui used this tea to entertain guests when he was alive. At least, President Zhou had never entertained such a high-class guest. However, Li Sisi also knew that there was indeed a collection of Wui de Hong Pao in the tea freezer. Just as Li Sisi was in a dilemma, Feng Ying returned to Zhuo Meiyan's office and said to Li Sisi, assistantly, this Mr. Su is a very, very important guest of President Zhuo. He is also a very, very important guest of Sky Entertainment Group. President Zhuo asked me to tell you that if he has any requests, you must satisfy them. Li Sisi's jaw almost dropped. She looked at Feng Ying in disbelief. Secretary Feng. He wants to drink Wui de Hong Pao. Then hurry up and get ready. After saying that, Feng Ying left the office again without a trace. Li Sisi was really shocked by this Mr. Su. Ever since Zhang Taisui passed away, no one had been able to enjoy this kind of precious tea in this office on the top floor of Sky Entertainment Group. Ling Jiling was now in complete admiration of this guy in front of her. When she first saw Su Yun, she thought he was a newcomer who wanted to sign a contract with Sky Entertainment Group. Later, she found out that he wasn't working for them. Only now did she realize that his relationship with the upper management of Sky Entertainment Group was no small matter. She knew what kind of person Feng Ying was. Even Feng Ying didn't care about him, and let him do whatever he wanted. One could imagine how important this person was in the eyes of the people in Sky Entertainment Group. Ling Jiling was really curious about the relationship between Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan. Sister Jiling, there's no one else in the room now. Can I make a request? Su Yun saw that Li Sisi had left the office to prepare the tea, so he took the opportunity to get close to her. Ling Jiling was able to get to where she was today not only because of her acting skills, but also because she was exquisite. She was very good at dealing with the upper management. Now, facing this mysterious god in front of her, she maintained the most comfortable smile on her face. Mr. Su, if there's anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to ask. As long as it's within Jiling's power, Jiling will do her best. Su Yun laughed. If I asked someone else to do this, it would be a bit difficult, but if I asked you to do it, it's much easier. What seems like a difficult task to us, if you do it, it'll be as easy as lifting a finger. Although Ling Jiling didn't know what Su Yun wanted to say, looking at his embarrassed appearance, he shouldn't be asking her to do something bad like murder or arson. Mr. Su, if it's something easy for Jiling, then I definitely won't refuse. Really? Su Yun's face was full of expectation. Ling Jiling was shocked and suddenly felt that something was wrong. However, no matter how she looked at Su Yun, he didn't look like the kind of weird uncle who would ask her to do something dirty here. Compared to those old hooligans who had green light in their eyes when they saw her, Su Yun's eyes were at least pure. However, he was looking forward to it so much. What exactly did he want to do? This really made Ling Jiling's heart beat non-stop. Then I'll say it. Su Yun took a deep breath. Sister Jiling, I have a sworn brother who is especially obsessed with you. Now he's in Pusely City on Saron Island in the West Sea of Athens, so it's impossible for me to ask him to come here to see you immediately. But he has a wish that I especially want to help him fulfill because he did me a big favor not long ago. Although he and I are very close, I still want to give him a surprise. Ling Jiling didn't avoid Su Yun's gaze. Mr. Su, if your friend can come to Huaxia, I don't mind meeting him, but if you want me to go to Pusely City on Saron Island in the West Sea of Athens, I'm afraid I really don't have time. No. How can I let you go so far away? But my brother once swore that he would never step into Huaxia again. If he violated it, he would cut off one of his legs, so it's impossible for him to come. Su Yun explained. He just has a wish and wants your signature. Mr. Su, you really know how to joke. If it's just such a simple request, Jiling can do it immediately. Ling Jiling said. I just hope Mr. Su won't laugh at Jiling's bad handwriting. Hearing this woman's coquettish tone, Su Yun had an indescribable feeling all over his body. No wonder so many men would fall under her pomegranate skirt. This woman was really enchanting. Sister Jiling, if it's really so simple, it's not so difficult for me to ask. Su Yun changed his tone and began to talk about business. Ling Jiling opened her eyes wide and asked curiously, Mr. Su, do you have any other additional requests? I only know one type of signature. Because I didn't grow up in the mainland, my Chinese is not particularly good. I think you should know a little about this, right? Su Yun shook his head vigorously. One type of signature is enough. It's just that the place where you sign is somewhat difficult for me to say. At this time, Li Sisi finished brewing a pot of Wui de Hong Pao tea. If she took out this pot of tea now, she was afraid that even an Audi A6 would not be exchanged for it. Li Sisi carefully brought the tea to the sofa and coffee table, where the two of them were sitting. She placed the teacups that had been scalded with hot water in front of the two of them and poured the tea, saying, "Please enjoy." Ling Jiling looked at the tea that was as valuable as diamonds. She really didn't know whether she should drink this tea or not. It would be a waste if she didn't drink it. If she drank it, she was afraid that Zhou Meiyan would blame her. Who knew if this Su Yun was the kind of person that Zhou Meiyan worshipped like a god? If he wasn't, would Zhou Meiyan's anger affect her? Drink it while it's hot. Such a good thing must not be wasted. Su Yun picked up the teacup and said. Ling Jiling steeled her heart. She didn't care anymore. In any case, Secretary Feng was so polite to this person. In the end, even if Boss Wu blamed her, she wasn't the mastermind. Now that the tea had been brewed, if she didn't drink it, it would be a waste. The two of them carefully tasted the tea. Su Yun's face was full of enjoyment. Although he was not a tea expert, he had drunk no less than 100 types of famous tea at his godfather's place. This was the most unforgettable tea for him. Su Yun sipped the tea while glancing at Li Sisi. Secretary Li, do you want to take a cup and sit down to drink with us? Li Sisi hurriedly turned around and left. No need, Mr. Su. Please enjoy. After Li Sisi left, Su Yun helplessly shook his head. This secretary is really too much. She treated herself as a third wheel. If I didn't point it out, she really would have watched us finish this pot of tea. Ling Jiling couldn't figure out Su Yun's identity. She could only carefully deal with him. Mr. Su, this tea is really different. Hee. I don't know if Boss will be unhappy if he knows that we drank such expensive tea. If I drink it, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Su Yun disagreed and then asked. By the way, Sister Jiling, where was I just now? Well, you said you wanted my autograph. It's just that the place you want me to sign is a bit difficult for you to say. Ling Jiling looked at him blankly and said, Mr. Su, you don't want me to sign it on you, right? Su Yun sighed. If that's the case, then it's easy to handle. Hee, Mr. Su, you just have to say it. I think as long as it's a place that can be marked with a pen, I can sign it. Ling Jiling really didn't take this request seriously. If an autograph could win the favor of this mysterious god, she didn't mind at all. Chapter 223. Hearing Su Yun's question, Ling Jiling's face changed in an instant. She didn't expect that Su Yun, whose eyes were so pure and clear, would say such a thing. Were all men like this? Su Yun looked at Ling Jiling expectantly. He hoped that she could give him a positive answer. In that case, he could send an express mail directly. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, his wife would hold the baby and say good words about him all day long. Ling Jiling really felt that it was tricky. Some high-level people did have some improper thoughts about her before, but she could always find a way to use Zhou Meiyan's identity to suppress those people's improper thoughts. After all, those people she had met didn't dare to offend Zhou Meiyan. But she couldn't figure out the guy in front of her. If President Zhou was obedient to this person, her refusal might directly cut off her future life in the entertainment circle. Sister Jiling, I know it's a little embarrassing, but my brother is really obsessed with you. You are the only thing that he stays at home. Su Yun counted with his fingers and said, Your posters are pasted on the wall. Your head pillow is on the sofa. In addition to medical books, there are also your photo albums on the bookshelf. He hasn't saved any porn in Dongying Island in his computer. There are all kinds of your advertisements. He even bought various versions of your blow-up dolls on the Taotao website. But unfortunately, none of the versions can meet his requirements. They are too fake, so he didn't let go of them on the bed. Ling Jiling was blushed because of Su Yun's words. How could there be such a person in the world? More importantly, when Su Yun said these, it seemed that he was talking about a very ordinary thing. It seemed that she really needed to communicate with the Taotao website. She heard from Pan Bingbing before that there were many blow-up dolls with their portraits as pictures on the Taotao website, but she didn't care about it. She thought that no one would buy such things. Now when she heard what Su Yin said, she really had a knot in her heart. Mr. Su, although your request is really easy for me, I'm really sorry. I don't have the habit of carrying underwear with me, so. Ling Zhiling looked embarrassed and said, Mr. Su, you are a gentleman. You won't force me to do that, right? Su Yin shook his head and said in a gentlemanly manner, Of course, I will never let Sister Zhiling go home to take it. Ling Zhiling finally breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. Because my brother wants you to wear it, Su Yin continued to say. You can't wash it. If you wash it, it will be meaningless for him. Ling Zhiling's heart, which just relaxed, was worried again. If she could, she really wanted to scold him angrily, and then let the entourage beat him away. But it was a pity that she was not qualified to bring other entourage to the Tianyu group, especially to Mr. Zhu's office. Mr. Su, I'm sorry about your request. Ling Zhiling finally couldn't bear it and refused. Su Yin was disappointed for a while. He really wanted to fight for it again, but it was a pity that someone didn't give him a chance. He heard Li Sisi say, Mr. Guo, please. A pot-bellied middle-aged man walked into Zhuo Meiyan's office with his fat belly swaying. Guo Chuanjiang, the owner of a small ramen stall near Taihu Lake in Jibei City. Because Zhang Taisui went to Taihu Lake alone to relax, he was hungry and went to eat ramen. After eating, he realized that he didn't have any money. Zhang Taisui originally wanted to call someone to deliver the money, but Guo Chuanjiang generously waved his hand and said, Old man, don't bother. It's my treat. Because of this, Zhang Taisui directly brought Guo Chuanjiang to his side. In a short 10 years, Guo Chuanjiang, a commoner who sold ramen, became a famous figure in the entertainment industry in Jiangbei province. When it came to film investment, Guo Chuanjiang had a special and unique vision. Although the films he invested in weren't blockbusters with special significance, they were all very good at the box office. In Guo Chuanjiang's words, don't even look for those educational literary films. The script he wanted was light and lively. It made people happy. As long as he casually picked a few popular stars from the Tianyu group, there was no way the film wouldn't be popular. Oh, what a coincidence. I didn't expect Miss Ling to be here too. After Guo Chuanjiang entered, he saw Ling Zhiling at first glance. She was one of the biggest stars in the Tianyu group. She was also the symbol of box office guarantee. I've been wanting to talk to you. I received a good script, Hong Kong Embarrassment. It tells the story of an idiot in Hong Kong. I have my eyes on you for the female lead. Ling Zhiling saw Guo Chuanjiang come in, and stood up politely. President Guo, I'm flattered that you still remember me. You're such a busy person. You're treating me like an outsider. Guo Chuanjiang said. He suddenly realized that there was another person sitting on the sofa. He turned his head, and saw that the other person was young. He didn't even stand up to greet Guo Chuanjiang. Such a strange face could it be? Miss Ling, is this the newcomer you're managing? If this guy was a newcomer, Guo Chuanjiang was sure that he would make sure this rude guy would never be able to make a name for himself. No, Mr. Su is President Zhu's friend. Ling Zhiling explained. She looked at Su Yin in surprise. Guo Chuanjiang was a senior executive in the Tianyu group. If he was friends with President Zhu, how could he not know him? Su Yin raised his head and looked at Guo Chuanjiang. He had heard Zhang Taisui mention this person before, but he had never met him. President Guo sit anywhere. When Su Yin said this, it was as if the top floor of the Tianyu group belonged to him. Guo Chuanjiang glared at him. He didn't think that a young man would dare to talk to him like this. Who are you? Guo Chuanjiang was impatient. Kid, do you know where this is? Su Yin smiled. I know Zhuo Meiyan's office. How dare you? You can't call President Zhu's name so casually. Guo Chuanjiang scolded. Assistantly. Who is this guy? Li Sisi heard this and quickly ran in. She said innocently, President Guo, Secretary Feng brought him up. He said he's President Zhu's friend. Oh. Guo Chuanjiang was stunned. Feng brought him up. Feng wouldn't bring anyone up casually. Did this kid really know Zhuo Meiyan? Su Yin shrugged. President Guo, why are you making such a fuss? Come, sit down and have a cup of tea. Guo Chuanjiang lowered his head and looked at the tea. His eyes widened. This kid was treated so well. Guo Chuanjiang had no choice but to sit down on the sofa. Although he hadn't seen Su Yin before, he still felt that it was better not to provoke him. After Guo Chuanjiang sat down, he immediately took Ling Jiling's hand and smiled brightly. Miss Ling, I haven't finished talking to you yet. I think you're the female lead of this movie. To guarantee that this movie will be a big hit, if you're interested, you can come to my place to look at the script in the afternoon. Ling Jiling wasn't a newcomer who had only been in the entertainment industry for 1 or 2 years. She immediately saw through Guo Chuanjiang's intentions and understood why he wanted her to go with him to look at the script. The movies that Guo Chuanjiang invested in were always able to make newcomers famous, and celebrities who were already famous would increase their value. There was no need to doubt this. Therefore, the movies that he invested in were things that many people in the entertainment industry wanted to participate in. Once such a situation occurred, the unspoken rules would inevitably occur. Even if Guo Chuanjiang didn't have such intentions, the small female stars who wanted to have a long talk with him every month could form a strong line. Over time, Guo Chuanjiang's taste became picky. He didn't like ordinary girls. Now, if he wanted to sleep with someone, he wanted to sleep with someone like Ling Jiling, who was already an A-list celebrity. Every time there was an opportunity, Guo Chuanjiang would ask for it. Unfortunately, Ling Jiling never fell for it. Director Guo, how can I be worthy of your movie? Hee, and directors seems to have something more important for me this time. I'm afraid I won't have the chance to cooperate with Director Guo. Ling Jiling's intelligence lay in how she knew how to reject the requests of these higher-ups. When Guo Chuanjiang heard that Zhuo Meiyan also had something to do with her, he could only withdraw his thoughts. Hee, since Miss Ling doesn't have the time, we'll definitely have a chance in the future. In the future, there will definitely be a chance. Yes, Jiling also looks forward to working with you. Ling Jiling smiled. Hearing this, Guo Chuanjiang's heart itched uncomfortably. Ha, no wonder old Master Zhang said that Guo Chuanjiang was good at everything, but he had a bad habit of being lecherous. Su Yin suddenly couldn't help but laugh. President Guo, old Master Zhang really has a good eye for people. He said that you'll definitely cause trouble in the future because of your lechery. Although old Master Zhang is no longer around, I'll help him remind you that you shouldn't cause trouble because of your lechery. After all, old Master Zhang thought highly of you. Guo Chuanjiang's expression changed. Brat. Who are you? Old Master Zhang isn't someone you can casually talk about. I think you're tired of living. As he spoke, Guo Chuanjiang stood up and walked towards Su Yun with a murderous look. Who didn't have some skills after hanging out with Zhang Taisui? Just as Guo Chuanjiang was about to grab Su Yun with both hands like a hungry tiger pouncing on a mountain, Su Yun directly raised his leg. The tip of his foot was like a snake coming out of its hole, directly hitting Guo Chuanjiang's lower abdomen. Guo Chuanjiang only felt a sharp pain under his abdomen, and then he was sent flying by a strong force. Boom! Guo Chuanjiang's huge body fell heavily on the ground, making a dull sound. President Guo, don't have any ideas about your company's artists in the future. Even a rabbit doesn't eat the grass near its burrow. Su Yin still had a smile on his face. He didn't even get up, but Guo Chuanjiang fell miserably. If it wasn't because Zhang Taisui thought highly of this guy, Su Yin would have already made him more miserable. Who asked him to interrupt him when he was asking for Sister Jiling's signed underwear? Serves him right. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.